Hello everybody, Azurify here with today's episode of EvenfallTask, my Hardcore Iron Man Taskman account. We are starting this off with easy clue openings. I've got 25 caskets. I do want to point out, I did get up to 50 crafting. One of the steps that you can get, well, two of the steps for easy clues require either a ruby amulet or a amulet of strength, which I didn't get before because I didn't want to grab them from the ways you can get it without 50 crafting, but I can get 50 crafting in this tier, in the easy tier. So I just mined gems and cut those. It didn't take very long, but it's time to open up these easy clues. We need to get up to 10 uniques, I believe. We're currently at 5, so we need 5 more. Yes, and I'm hoping this 25 is all it'll take. But let's start opening. First one is a reroll. None of this is useful. Another awful clue. Another awful clue. Let's reroll. A reroll token, which I'm just going to use right away. There we go. We got a bob shirt into a wizard robe skirt G, so that's 2. 3. We got a black helm H2. Let's re-roll this. Let's re-roll this. Meerkat pouches are good, so I'm going to keep that actually. I like the scrolls too, so I'm going to keep that. There we go, Zamrock robe top, so only one more unique needed. That's technically a fortunate and some fetch casket scrolls, so I'm going to keep it. This is a reroll. Some more casket scrolls. This is a reroll. I'm gonna re-roll the pages. There we go. There's our 10th, the black split plate skirt H4. So I can bank all of this junk that's in my inventory now. And the bonus XP star I'll throw on Slayer, I suppose. But that is the end of that task. We have 8 easy caskets left, so overall I've done 46 minus 8, so 38 clues. So let's head on over to the task site, put that in there, 38 clues, and let's mark off everything that I've got. Got the plate skirts already done, so wizard robe skirt G. Right, yep. We already have the robe top marked off. And it was the black helm H2. The bob shirt, red. The Zamrock robe top. And then it was a black plate. Shirt H4. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is everything for this easy clue task. So let's complete this and get a new task. Don't give me more clues, please. Herblore supply task. We need to make 50 prayer potions, so I need ranars and snapegrass. Snapegrass, I've got 236. Ranars, I'm at 32. So I'm going to need to look at how to get more. I don't remember if there is a pickup spot where I can just grab them or not. There is one in the Edgeville dungeon, Chaos Druid dungeon. So I believe I've gone in there. And if I have, then that is a freeway. I just hop worlds and I pick that up. So I'm going to make my way there, and I'm going to check the task site first for resource dungeons to make sure that I've gone into it before I do that. Yes, that was probably the first one we did at level 10. So this will be a pretty quick task. I'm going to go hop worlds until I pick up the 18 Ranars I need, and then we will make these potions. These last few potions are the end of this task. It'll be all 50 prayer potions. I only need to make the 3-dose version. There's all 50 of them in the bank. Right there if you didn't see. And I did look the herblore requirement for the rest of the tier. There's another task which I believe I already have the level to do, and then there's one at level 60 herblore, and that's the highest one for the easy tier. So I'm hoping I get more quests that'll give herblore XP before then, but that's still not too bad of a grind. I don't think I have that many herbs in general. If we look at my tab, yeah, it's not great, but I have some. But yeah, but we can head on over to the task site. We made 50 prayer potion 3s, and this allows us to make 50 of each stat restoring potion that we have the level for and keep those stocked. But our new task is to do some Menaphos fire making or wood cutting. It has to be Acacia logs or Acacia trees, but I don't think I have any Acacia logs already. No, so it's just gonna be woodcut and fire make as I go and see which one we get first. I was AFKing a little bit, so I didn't see it right away, but we did just get the desert locust in our inventory. That is one of the 2 woodcutting options. So that's task completed. Let's check that, add it to our journal, and then come on over to good old task site, and we are going to mark off desert locust. I didn't keep track of individual logs because I have been burning them as I go. I had 141 stone spirits, I think, so I've used about 100 stone spirits. So, and I don't know if it counts the 2 logs for the wood cutting or not, and not stone spirits, wood spirits obviously, but so potentially like 200, but I'm not going to put it in because I don't actually know how the math works for that. So, but that is this task completed. We're almost at 15%. Next task might get us there, or it might put us at like 14.9, but let's see what our next task is. Oh, finally some bossing. This one is to do barrows and get anything at all. I do not yet have the dragon defender. I haven't had the defender grind, so I can't get the corruption sigil yet, but that's a really easy log slot once I can. But otherwise it's just do some barrows, which is going to be good. I want to unlock War's Retreat and all of the portals and stuff, so that'll actually be nice. I'm gonna go gear up. I honestly don't know whether my melee or mage is probably going to be better for me, because they're all weak to, for the most part, besides Carol and Aram, are all weak to magic spells. So I think I'm going to use my mage setup, and we'll see how it goes. Hello, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. One, my power went out earlier as I was fighting Guthin. Luckily, I have auto retaliate on, and I had put protect from melee on, and when I came back I was only missing like 1000 HP. I ate a piece of food, healed up, that's fine. But because of that, we did however miss. If we look right here, we got O Ye of Little Faith, which is one of the combat achievements. This one specifically was to defeat any after using the correct protection prayer against all of their attacks. So the large majority of them use melee. It's just protect from melee, which I had put on, but we missed acquiring that. So that is a separate task. However, I can show you guys the rules as well again. You are allowed to do them. So I am going to come over here, put faith in yourself, this one here, defeat the Barrows brothers after using the correct prayer against their attacks. It's considered combat mastery. We can mark that off. But I do want to go over to the rules. And if I show you combat masteries, If you have yet to achieve them, you can work on combat mastery achievements for active boss unique tasks or Reaper tasks, or work on them if you've already completed the collection log for them. Since I'm on a Barrows boss task, I am allowed to try and do any of the Barrows combat masteries that I feel so inclined to. The other one we're almost certainly going to get is to defeat all 6 of the brothers without leaving the area. I don't see why I would teleport out at any time unless something goes very poorly, but those are the only 2 that we really have access to right now. The other ones require defeating them with their own weapons, I believe, and then there's another... Is that the only other one? It might be. I would love to be able to get the combat mastery like rewards, because one of them is the portal in Barrows. But yeah, that's for the easy tier. Unfortunately, we need 19 combat score, and these are only giving 1 each, so they're not doing much for us. Yeah, the other like main combat one is defeat each of the brothers with their own weapon. So A, we need the other 2 unlocked, and B, we would need each and every weapon, so we can't do that obviously. But I'm going to get back to Barrows. It seems like everything's fixed with the power situation. It hasn't gone out and it's been fine, so we're gonna see. But time to actually get to doing some Barrows. Here we are, about to loot our first chest. Unfortunately, I think because I got logged out after I killed Guffin, it didn't count that for the achievement. So I'll get it next kill, most likely, the around the mound in 80 days. You can see in the chat box, you see how it says 5 of 6, even though I've killed all 6 brothers. I didn't leave Barrows at all. I logged out, unfortunately, but our first chest, no unique. I don't think the bolt racks are unique in this, but that's 1 kill down. Time for me to go re-gear and come back for another. To mention that, unfortunately, the teleport to the PVM hub is 10 boss kills. So we need 10 boss kills if we're going to get that. And the altar over here is 200, but we can use this portal to attune to Barrows now, as it's the only boss we've killed. But so we can get there quickly. It's just I don't have an immediate teleport. I do also... I want to demonstrate how bad my hit chances kind of are on most of these. Aram, for example, I've got a 40%. I'm using magic, just the mystic. Even on the Barrows brothers like Darok or Guthrin, when I use their elemental weakness, it's still not that great. I think it's like 50s and 60s. So they're not the fastest kills, but we are getting them kind of no problem. I use a couple pieces of food and that's about it. I can't make up my mind whether or not I would prefer to get a quick unique to get out of here and then come back once I get like the god staff, or if I would prefer the idea of getting at least 10 kills so I can have the PVM hub teleport. I would be fine with either, really. I wouldn't want to go like much further than like probably 20 kills. Drop rate's like 1 in 14-ish, but we will see. Actually, I don't know for just the 6 brothers what the drop rate is. I think with all of the others, it's like a 1 in 14. I'm not positive. Barrows math is hard, and I don't want to do it. But yeah, even I'll show you Carol's hit chance if he's actually in the tomb over here. It's bad. 32%. So I could probably bring like a melee switch, but that's so much effort and I really don't want to. So I'm just going to power through. In the tunnels here, Varak, I don't know why I said his name so weird. We got the final brother killed for around the mound in 80 days. So I'll make sure to mark that off once I actually finish this task. But I'll keep you guys with me as I get to the chest here. I'll show you this loot and see what happens, and then afterwards I'm just gonna go until I get a drop of any kind. In terms of what I would want, I wouldn't mind any melee weapon or magic weapon. The Carol's crossbow would be okay. I'm nowhere near 70 ranged, but I would really like an Aram staff. That would be great. Or any two-hand melee weapon. So like a Darok's axe would be nice. Yeah. And then the Amulet of Forsaken, we're going to need one in the future for archaeology, but it's also just a really good amulet. It would be like a 5 or 6 times increase over this desert amulet that I'm wearing currently. So that would be really good as well. Any of the tank gear, not like the body pieces and stuff, not really useful. I don't have 70 defense, and I also am nowhere near invention, which is what they would be used for in the future probably. But obviously I'm not going to complain about anything. And here we go. On our second chest, we got a Varroc's plate skirt. Unfortunately, not great, but like I said, I'll take any item at all. So that is 2 KC, 2 chests for an item, so pretty lucky. I feel like on my Taskman accounts, my Barrows uniques are usually pretty lucky. So let me teleport out of here, and we'll head on over to the Taskman site. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark off this one, take it back to 2005, killing them all without leaving the area, because we did that. And then we're going to head back to the main page. We're going to come here to KC. We got a Varroc's plate skirt. Where is he? Down at the bottom. Plate skirt. Combat, complete this task, mark it off. We're at 15.66% easy, and we're going to get a new task. And I need to get a unique from the Mage Training Arena. Now, assuming I can get enough bones reasonably, I'm probably going to go for Bones to Peaches first. I know that it's more expensive than stuff like the Beginner Wand and stuff like that, but if we come over here and we search for tasks, and then if I search for Peaches, I'm going to need it anyway, at least in the medium tier for this task, and I would prefer getting it now rather than later. And it also helps a bit in the graveyard room if you want to eat in there to restore health. I really wish RuneScape 3 would get some of the treatment that OSRS did in terms of Mage Training Arena. They made it a whole lot better there. It still sucks here, but the biggest hint that I can give you in terms of like a helpful tip is what this says right here. Absolutely keybind low alch and use low alchemy instead of high alchemy in the alchemy room. It is so much faster. It makes such a difference. You get the same amount of coins either way, so do that. Otherwise, just power through. It took a little bit of time, but assuming I double checked everything correctly, I believe I have all of the points that I need to purchase Bones to Peaches. So that will be our first purchase here. And there we go. There are cheaper options, obviously. If we look at the Beginner Wand, for example, doesn't take much at all compared to Bones to Peaches. It's about 6 times less points. Yeah, but this is a good spell to get done first, and we're going to have to do it by the medium tier at the very least for that specific task. But I think generally for Taskman, I would probably recommend doing Bones to Peaches first, and then afterwards just go cheapest to most expensive, so that way you get the most out of the cost reduction that the Desert Diaries get you. However, we can come over here to the task site, scroll down to the very bottom of this list, pick Bones to Peaches, and mark it off. And our new task is to obtain a unique from pickpocketing at the Garden of Corit. I have 51 thieving, it requires 42. Uniques can be obtained from druids, and the hood is specifically from the one that doesn't have a mask. We're not allowed to pickpocket the knight, so spend all of your time pickpocketing the one without a mask, basically, is what is recommended. I will make my way over there, and then I'll show you guys which one that is. So here we are over at the Garden of Carid. These knights, not allowed to be pickpocketed. This druid right here that wanders around, he is not wearing a mask. He's the one that you want to pickpocket to ideally get the hood. This one here, he's got a mask. You don't want him. The rates for a lot of these things are very difficult, or quite high, I suppose is how I should put it. And also our success chance isn't great, and there's not really much that we can do to improve it at this point. In the future, we'll have things like the Ardoin Cloak, we'll have a higher level, maybe even some summoning familiars, stuff like that. The only thing we realistically could do right now is buy the aura, the 5-finger discount aura, and if you have a lot of loyalty points, personally, I would recommend it. I think it's quite useful on this kind of account because we come here a few times, but then it's also really nice for pickpocketing Menophyte marketers for tasks in the future where we need reputation, where we aren't able to just sit there and do soul lobbies and get it done, because in the future it takes more and more reputation points to level it up, obviously, and the soul lobby isn't, you just can't do enough with one day's worth. And if you don't want to wait, pickpocketing the Menophyte marketers is a great way to do it, in my opinion. You can get the gift offerings and it can be completely AFK with the aura. The aura makes it AFK much sooner than it would be otherwise. But I currently only have like 14,000 loyalty points, so I'm questioning whether it's worth buying the first stage, because I don't think I could even get the second stage of the aura. The only other aura that I currently have is Surefooted, which I got for some quests because it helps out. But otherwise, yeah, I don't have much in terms of loyalty points, unfortunately. But I'm going to spend some time here pickpocketing, and hopefully we'll get a unique. Our three options are either the hood, the teleport seed, which is the mystical sand seed, or a supreme growth potion. I believe the potion is the most likely, but it might be equal to the sand seed. I'm not positive on the rates, but yeah, we're likely going to be here for a while. If the wiki rates are correct, I just got incredibly lucky. Our first thing that we got from the druids right here is their hood, which the wiki says is a 1 in 50,000 drop rate. I don't think, there's no way that can actually be accurate, because I've gotten it multiple times before. It just doesn't seem correct, but we have a unique. We got an item, and arguably the best one that we could get first. In the future, I don't have to worry about pickpocketing this specific druid because he walks around all the time, and I can come do the masked one instead. He stays stationary. It'll make it a little bit nicer. We did get up to level 52 thieving. We were already super close, but that's about everything that we got from the grind. We got a couple anima stones and one single Avanto seed, but otherwise this happened super quick. I did purchase the first level of the 500 discount aura, but as you can see, I only went for like 6 minutes or so actually using it. So overall, this task went by much faster than I thought it was going to. But we can come on over here and we can mark off the hood and complete this task and generate a new one. Back to easy clues. I guess I'll open the caskets that I already have in the bank first and see if I get super lucky on them. I think I had like 6 or 7 left, but otherwise I'm gonna have to go farm some more. I did get the Goblin Champion scroll. You guys should have seen that clip most likely. But if I hadn't shown that clip, I can show you in the bank quick. I've got the Goblin Champion scroll sitting right here, so it'll be ham members instead, most likely, is what I do to get clues. But there they are. I have 8 easy caskets. Let's grab my treasure trail log, and we'll open these quick and see if we get lucky or not. We're at 10 We need 15, so we need to get 5 out of these 8, so not likely. I do think I might also have a reroll token. I do. Let's take this out and let's redeem that quick. There we go. And let's open some clues. First one, absolute garbage. Let's reroll into a black crossbow. I don't want to keep it. I want to roll for uniques into a 4K clue. Awful. Open a new one. We get a Zamorak page. Next one's awful. Next one is also awful. Let's reroll it. Nothing. 2K on this one. Awful. 10K on this one. Terrible. It's not a easy unique. It's a shared unique. And then this last one is also just firelighters. Let's reroll. Wow. We didn't get a single... We didn't get anything good out of any of these. That was terrible. But yeah, I'm gonna go thieve for some clues, I suppose, and then come back once I have probably another set of 25. Tip, I believe, if you're going to thieve ham members, wear a set of ham robes. I have not fact-checked whether this is true or not, but I have heard and been told that it affects the rate at which you get caught by them. To do some clue opening. I only got 15 because it was taken forever. We opened 8 earlier and got absolutely nothing, so I'm hoping that we'll get lucky with these 15 and get the 5 uniques that we need. We probably won't, but starting off bad. I'm gonna re-roll this even though it's got Meerkat scrolls. There we go, finally, a unique. Wow, these have just been awful. Like, look at this. There we go, we're at 12. Do I keep the reroll token? Yeah, I guess. Let me bank stuff quick and grab that token. We'll use it. Alright, we're at 12:15. I've got 4 caskets. Nothing. Reroll. Nothing. Reroll. There we go, we're at 13. Hey, there we go, we got a double on the second to last one, up to 15. I feel like my luck with these clues has just been awful so far, but here are the 5 things we got. We got a Ceradome and Robe Top, a Black Shield H1, a Wizard Hat T, Blue Elegant Legs, and a Black Plate Body H5. And, you know, a mix of useless salvage and other things like talismans and low-level runes and so on. But we can head on over to the good old task site. It wants to bring me to the main page. There we go. How many clues total was that I've done? 61 minus 1, so 60 total. Technically, there's a few more because there were the ones from the penguins, but that's not included in my total anymore because I've not been keeping track. But time to go through these. We've got a Black Shield H1, and then a Wizard Hat T, and then it's the Ceradome and Robe Top, followed by the plate body, the Black Plate Body H5, and then the Elegant Legs, blue Elegant Legs. And that is the end of this clue task, thankfully. And let's get a new one that's not a clue task, please. To Mage Training Arena, yay! This one's going to be a lot faster. I'm just going to go for the beginner wand, and it was, what did I say, 6 times cheaper than Bones to Peaches was, so it shouldn't take us too long. Assuming that I remembered all of the point totals correctly, I should be able to come up here and purchase the beginner wand. There we go, in our inventory. It's basically useless, but we got it. So that's nice, I suppose. I think I'll double check, but this might be our last mage training arena in this tier. I'm not positive, but that is a beginner one. We can complete this task and get a new one. Our next task is to do some Dagonoth Kings. So this is just going to be, with the gear that I have, it's just going to be camping Dagonoth Rex and hoping for the items we can get are a warrior ring, a berserker ring, a dragon hatchet, and then obviously one of the pets, but that's unlikely. I'll have to double check. I think he's weak to water spells, or it might be fire. He's weak to some kind of magic spell, so I can bring that. And I still, unfortunately, am stuck with Mystic Wand and Orb as my items to use, so I'm gonna have to use those. I haven't gotten the God Staff yet, and I'm almost 70 magic, but I don't have an easy upgrade then unless I get an Aram's item, or 75 for Vanquish and the quest points for it. But I wanted to check, we have one more Mage Training Arena unique in this tier. But it shouldn't be too bad. Like I said, it'll still be less than the Bones Peaches was. But yeah, I'm gonna go gear up and we're gonna kill some Dagonoth Rex. On the bright side, I'm likely going to get the 9 kills or so needed for the, or actually I only need 8 more kills for the PVM hub teleport. So I'm hoping I get that. But yeah. Our hit chance with the Mystic is 54% using Fire Blast, so not awful, but not the best. Kills are probably going to take a bit. Oh, let me actually put Wild Magic back on my bar. But yeah, definitely doable, and I'm just going to save spot, obviously. But it's about a 1 in 40 for one of the 3 drops, and then it's a 1 in 2500 for the pet. So it's not too rare, but we're likely going to be here for a while. After this kill, it'll be nicer. I won't have to make the whole run back, obviously, but also I can sit here for a while and kill, because realistically, the only thing damaging me right now is the poison and the spinal lips, and maybe an occasional hit from Rex if I don't do the safe spot fast enough, but otherwise it's relatively safe. Okay, we ended up getting pretty lucky actually with a warrior ring that just dropped. I believe, I'll double check once I grab all of this and head to the bank, but I believe that was kill number 8. So I think that actually also just barely got us the teleport unlock for the PVM hub. So we're gonna check it out and see. Because I think I did 2 Barrows kills. Yeah, Barrows are at 2 kills. Dagonoth Kings 8 kills, so yeah, pretty lucky. And then I can come over here and grab the PVM hub teleport, which is a really good unlock. Now I don't need to carry the Arc Journal with me everywhere, and I can just throw the PVM hub teleport on my bar. And it's also basically like the safest teleport as an escape option, because even if we die in here, we do not lose our hardcore status. So if I'm poisoned and about to die or something and I manage to teleport here, we're safe. So that's something to keep in mind. The warrior ring itself, not a great drop. It's basically never going to be used by me. So I would have preferred the hatchet. That's really the only thing that would have made a difference anytime soon, even though I'm not 60 woodcutting. But as a hardcore, I basically plan on camping a Ring of Life for my entire account progression in any spot that it can work. So the only places that it doesn't, that I can think of off the top of my head, are Telos and Arcglacior. I don't know about a Masket. I'm not sure how it's set up. It's new and I haven't interacted with the content at all, so I don't know if teleports are blocked there too or not, but I do know they are for a fact blocked at Telos and Arcglacior. So those would be the only places that I would use any other ring, basically, besides like a Look of the Dwarves for skilling. But obviously if I'm skilling, I'm not in danger of dying. But we can come on over here. 8KC. They were Rex only kills, obviously, and we got a warrior ring, and we can complete this task and get a new one. This new one is to do some temple trekking. We need to get Smitty to level 99. So I don't remember which one she is. I think she's the annoying one that I can't just sit there and train. Like, she's really bad at the combat, so I'll have to go through it, but it won't take that long, but a few hours most likely. But yeah, that's our next task. It took a fair amount of time, but Smitty is now level 99. We've done everything for her, so we won't need her in the future. We do also have this 100 from a little bit of Dean Velio levels from before, but in the future, both of these two will be faster because they can actually attack. Smitty's one of the annoying ones who doesn't really attack and do damage to enemies, so she takes a longer time to level up. But that is the end of this task. In case anybody's curious, the way that I was getting here was I was teleporting using the Barrows portal and then just running over. If I didn't have that, my best way would probably be to teleport to the Canifus Lodestone, use the shortcut beneath the pub, and then the boat down the river, and then run here. But yeah, it was nice that we got the Barrows task earlier to be able to get that, and then the Dagonoth task for the PVM teleport. But this task is now completed, so we can head on over to the task site, complete it, and get ourselves a new one. This new one is to do the Tears of Guthix quest. It's super quick, and I don't think it really has like any requirements at all. And it unlocks the mini game. It can only be used currently if we need levels in our lowest skill. So say I needed fletching levels, for example, because that's my lowest skill at 27, I would be able to do Tears of Guthix. But if I didn't need that, I would not be able to. Later we will get an unlock, but I'm going to make my way over there and we'll do the quest quick. We get to do the Tears of Guthix for the quest, but you don't. You just make the bowl and turn it into Juna, so that is the end of that quest. And that's it. I believe that's all this quest is for. I don't think we actually have to do... Yeah, this just says complete the quest Tears of Guthix. So that is what we have done very quickly. That is the quest completed. Get a new task and see what it is. Find a unique cat or gem in Pyramid Plunder. So this is either Jennifer or Menophrite. You get it from the sarcophagi or looting urns. If your inventory is full, it will be sent to the bank, but I believe I've done all of the quests necessary, so I think I can just gear up and make my way to Pyramid Plunder. If I remember correctly, it took me a while last time to get these, and it was a bit annoying, but generally I don't think they take that long, but we shall see. With Jennifer, we got the paw print. No cat amulet on at the moment, so I can't speak to her, but that was pretty quick. I think overall that was probably about 12-15 sarcophagi. I do 3 every trip. Basically, I've been dropping everything else as I go, but I was opening a lot of urns as well. But that was actually faster than I thought it was going to go. I figured I would get the Menophrite before the cat because I was doing a lot more urns than I was sarcophagi. But that's that task completed, and here's a new one. We're back to Fremnik Province Slayer, and I believe this is the last one of the tier, actually. And we're just back to Turoth's for Leaf-Bladed Sword or an offhand Leaf-Bladed Sword. I've killed over 1,000, so theoretically I should get one soon based on numbers, but also I've gotten a fair few Mystic Robe Bottoms. But overall, I've killed over 1,000. It's a 1 in 2k for either of the swords. Both are 1 in 2k. So I should expect to see one at around 1 in 1k. So relatively soon, theoretically, statistically, I should see a drop. Unfortunately, I still don't have like the Vampirism aura or anything. I don't think I'm anywhere near enough marks to purchase it. I'll double check quick, but that would help a lot. Yeah, I only have 180 marks and I need 5k for vamp. But I'm kind of I wish that I had a better setup to use, but I don't. So I'm just kind of stuck with the rock shell and the leaf bladed spear. And yeah, that's really it. But I'm gonna get prepared and go kill some Turoths. Finally, I have gotten a leaf-bladed sword. That took a very long time. If you look at my stats over here, I got all the way up to 71 constitution and 72 in both attack and strength, and I'm pretty close to 73 in both of them. Overall, I'll have to do the math real quick, but somewhere along 4,300 kills for a 1 in 1024 drop, because I could have gotten either of the swords. So pretty ridiculous. I was basically 4 times dry. I had the drop calculator pulled up to see, and I was like 98.7% or something to have gotten at least 1 drop. But 4,393, that is the total KC that it took me to get the sword. So let's head on over to the task site. 4393, and we got the main hand sword, but this is the last Fremnik Province Slayer task in this tier, and we can complete it and generate a new one. This next one, we need 33 summoning, which we already have. And I need to summon 10 beavers, so green charms, which I've got tons of from the Turoth grind, some spirit shards, and willow logs. So I need 10 willow logs quick. So I'm just gonna go grab those quick, and this will be a pretty quick task. Have all of the things that I need. I had the willow logs included to make these beavers quick, so I just need to run on over to the obelisk, and then I can finish this task. It probably won't give me a summoning level. I doubt they're worth much XP, but it's good to be able to create these. Beavers are actually pretty decent for a woodcutting familiar. But that is the end of our task. It's just a supply task. There's no actual in-game achievement or anything. But we can come over here. I realized I didn't have this in the correct aspect. Sorry about that. Probably for the last clip too. But that's our task completed. And we can get a new one. This one is to mount a cockatrice head in our house. I don't think I've used the other cockatrice head yet. So this should be very quick. I just need to grab it, go get it stuffed in canvas, and grab a couple teak planks. Yep, I've got that, and I already have the teak planks in my bank, so I quite literally just have to run on over to canvas, get it stuffed, and then head to my house. So here I am in my house. The Hall Skill Trophies, I believe, is the one that I need to build to be able to put this in. So that's 15,000 coins, but then we go to the trophy space here and we mount this cockatrice head, and that is the end of this task. Another very quick one. I don't remember the KC, so I'm not going to put that in here, but let's complete that task and get a new one. This new one is to get something from the Dungeoneering shop. I probably already have enough tokens to buy it, whichever one I go for, and the first one I go for would probably be that gem bag upgrade, but I will go double check. I might not, because I think that's 20k and I only have 7k. You are allowed to token farm if you need to for tokens, but I'm gonna come over here and double check. Yeah, the upgraded gem bag is 20k, and I don't feel like doing that currently, so otherwise I can get the smithing auto heater, which is cheap, The nature staff's 12k, and the law staff, if I can find it, where is the lost? There it is. Oh no, that's a chaotic spike. Oh, it's 10k for the law staff. I think I'm just gonna do the smithing auto heater quick for 4k because I don't feel like grinding anything else. So that's our task. We got the smithing auto heater for 4k tokens. I could have killed Cerberus to do it, but I didn't want to. This next one is just do the Empire Need quest and then do the Phoenix afterwards. Quite simple. I don't think I have to level anything for the quest. It's very simple. Okay, I lied. I need quite a few levels. I need 2 crafting levels, a bunch of fletching levels, and 4 fire making levels. So I'm gonna have to figure out, the crafting's easy. I'll just do gem rocks for 2 levels. Fire making, I'll have to see what I have for logs, and then fletching is also, yeah, they're both gonna compete for logs, which isn't great. I've got a decent amount of oaks, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to take me all the way there. And then I also have like an okay amount of arrowheads that I've made. If we look here, I've got about 15,000 bronze, 8,000 steel, and 10,000 mithril. So I'll have to do the math to see how much these will actually give me for fletching them. But yeah, I've got to do actually a pretty decent fletching grind all the way up to 50 something for this quest. I quickly did the math. The arrowheads that I have, if I did the math correctly, should be more than enough to get me the fletching level. So the main issue for that fletching grind is just going to be getting all of the arrow shafts. In terms of fire making, I am likely going to cut teaks because I have a healthy amount of teak wood spirits, and to get the level I would only need about 430 teak logs, so it wouldn't take too long to gather them all. Crafting, I'm obviously just coming here and I'm grabbing some gems until I have enough for the 2 levels. It shouldn't be too much. If I happen to be able to do a evil bloodwood tree, I will, but I don't know when the next one is going to happen, and it's likely that I finish all of these skilling grinds before one happens. Supposedly 4 hours from now, if this is correct, there will be one. Yeah, I think I'm likely going to be done, but we will see. I am in the middle of fletching for the Empire Need quest. I definitely have a lot more. The arrows are getting me a lot more XP than I thought. I did also use my Tears of Guthix. It went into fletching, got me all the way up to like level 35 from 27 or so like 8 levels. But if you look at my chat, I completely forgot I haven't done this yet. I did just get Questioning Your Sanity, which is to bank stand for 1 hour, and that is a passive task. So let me come over to the site and mark that off, basically. And then I did complete another passive task, which is the Town Hall on Anachronia. I got it all the way up to level 3, and I will teleport there now just to show you guys that I'm not lying about it, but I don't think you guys would not trust me. But yeah, I did that earlier today, and I'm working towards the next 2, which are the storehouse and the sleeping quarters. But yeah, Town Hall is 3-starred. I haven't built anything else, but yeah. Back to fletching. As soon as we talk to the Priest of Guthix here, this should be the end of the quest, but our task is to actually go back in and do it again, if I'm understanding the language correctly. The task says, defeat the Phoenix in its lair, and then the description says, the Phoenix can be defeated after the Empire Need quest. Good luck. So we just finished the quest, so let's go in and do it for real this time. Later we will get an unlock that will let us do this every day until we get the pets, but that's not until the medium tier. But all we do is run through each of these rooms, ignore the warriors and all the enemies, and we just cut the twigs from each of the trees until we get to the final room, and then we build the pyre and then fight the Phoenix, but it's not a difficult fight. I'll show you once I get there. Here we are in the final room. All we do is fletch, and it'll fletch all of the sticks at once. And then we come up to the pyre, craft it. The Phoenix will appear, and then we fight it. It's got 10k health. I've got about a 38% accuracy on it currently with my dragon simmies, but really, like I said, it's not a hard fight. We're taking it down very quickly. I need to fix my melee bar after the Turoth grind, but it does drain your stats. But even still, like, I'm not having a major issue, and there it is. It wanders over into the pyre, we light it, and then afterwards we can talk to it and get another 5 Phoenix quills. And there's the achievement that I'm assuming the task wanted us to get, which is defeat the Phoenix once after Empire Need arise from the ash. We talk to the Phoenix, it gives us 5 more quills, and then make sure whenever you do this for the daily that you exit from the cave entrance. I believe that is the only way that you are able to potentially get the pet, which is what the daily is for. If you just teleport out, I don't think you get the opportunity to get it. I'm not positive on that, so you might want to double check, but that is how I think it works. But we can head on over to the task site now, and we can mark this task off as that was it, and we can get a new one. We're almost at 20%. This next one is to do the next step of what's the quest? That Black Old Magic? Is that what it's called? We need to get the piano keys, yes. And we need 50 necromancy, which we have, and 40 rune crafting, which we have. I think I need to make a decent amount of bone runes and stuff, so I'm gonna have to do some necromancy rune crafting, if I remember correctly, but overall it shouldn't take too long. So yes, the requirements to do the quest is straight up just, I need 520 bone runes and 360 flesh runes. I have the levels to make both of those. I might need to do a few rituals to get all of the essence, the necromancy essence, but I am going to come up here and grab the pure essence from the chest to bring with me to these ritual site, and then we'll figure out how many rituals I need to do and how much rune crafting I need to do. But overall, it shouldn't take too long, and that's pretty much the entirety of the quest. After we have the runes, we just talk to Zami over here, and he will turn them into keys, basically, and then we make the piano, and we'll get 12k necromancy XP from it. But otherwise, it's a very short part of the subquest. Over here and turn in these keys. That should be everything for that part of the mini quest. We got our lamp. 12k necromancy XP gets us up to level 52. We can now have 2 active conjures, which is actually very, very good and very important. And we can head over to the task site and actually complete this task and move on to our next one. This next one is to complete Royal Trouble, so I'll finally have access to Kingdom. Let me check what requirements that has. For Royal Trouble, I have all the levels. Throne of Miscellanea, I have the level, I have Remnant Trials done, so it's just do Throne of Miscellanea and Royal Trouble. So this is actually a really good unlock to get, because Kingdom is very useful for an iron, obviously, but I just need to do those 2 quests. Once we get up here and talk to the king, this should be the end of Throne of Miscellanea, and then after this we just need to do Royal Trouble, and we'll have complete access to Kingdom. And unfortunately I don't have much money currently, but I'll throw in like 200k for now, and we'll let that chill. But yeah, to unlock the farm and hardwood plots and get more workers, we need to do Royal Trouble. So I'll go gear up for that and get it done. As soon as we finish talking to King Vargas here, this should be the end of Royal Trouble, which is the end of our task as well. As I said earlier, Kingdom's a really good unlock to have. Unfortunately, we're quite poor at the moment, so I can't really fund it as much as I would like to at the moment. But we'll see if we get any cash in the future. That's the end of Royal Trouble. I don't think any of these lamps are going to give us a level. Oh, we did get 51 agility, but that is the end of the quest and the task. So let's head on over to good old task site, and this will push us over 20% easy. And let's get a new task. This new one, we're back to Fort Forinthry to construct the town hall. We need 120 oak planks and 24 limestone. So relatively easy. I think I used most of the oak that I had earlier for the fletching, but I do have 108 oak planks already. So 1 inventory of oak logs is all I need to cut before I can head on over there. It'll take a couple minutes to turn them all into the frames needed, obviously. Otherwise, this should be a pretty quick task. We're just about to finish building this building, the first tier of the town hall. There we go. We got up to level 52 construction. No special unlocks here, really. But we did get that 1 level, but that is it. Let's head over to the task site, complete this, and get a new task. This next one is to unlock rank 8 Esteem. I need 130 runespan points, so this will be a lot faster than the 2500 we needed for the Wicked Cape, but it's just go to runespan and basically AFK there for a little bit. I just wrapped up 130 points, so if we head over to Esteem, we should be able to purchase rank 8. There we go. And that was a pretty quick task in Runespan. No level or anything, just the Esteem points. Our next task is to unlock the full Lumberjack outfit. This one can be annoying if you get unlucky, which I have in the past, but basically we just go into temple trekking, use somebody that can foresee events if you have them, and then go through the first event and see if the second one, if any of them are a bridge. If it is, go in. If not, hop and try again. If we get lucky in these spawns, one of them drops the last piece, this will be the end of the task for us. This is definitely the quickest it's ever gone for me. If that ends up happening, it's been maybe 20-30 minutes. I gotta hope this last one, only 3 spawn per event, and it's not guaranteed that you will get a piece of the lumberjack even if zombies do spawn. So do you want to give it to us? Nope. So I gotta come back. The lumberjack. First kill is no. second kill. There we go, that is the lumberjack top. That is all 4 pieces of lumberjack. And that is also the end of the task. I did not keep track of how many events I did. I had 2 zombie events that did spawn them that didn't give a piece, 2 that didn't spawn any at all, and then the rest, so overall that technically would be like 8, but I'm just gonna complete without writing anything. And we'll go to our next task, which is to defeat giant mole in less than 5 minutes. This will be my first mole KC, and it also shouldn't be a very difficult thing to do. I think I'm just gonna go in with melee, I suppose, since I have the best gear for that, and we'll see how it goes. So this has been going pretty smoothly. I'm doing a hard mode kill, and I think theoretically I'm probably going to get every single mole combat achievement here besides the kill count ones, I believe, assuming I don't severely mess up and I looked at everything correctly. But yeah, I'm at 2.5 minutes so far, and I think 5 or 4 was the fastest that I had to go. So yeah, it's not really... Only 5,000 more health to go. That attack is the scary one because there's nothing you can do about it, but we're almost done. Come on, just one more good hit, and there we go. And in the chat box, you can see a bunch of the achievements I just got. So I'm gonna get out of here, and then we can head to the task site and check all these off. That was a 3-minute 25-second kill, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different achievements, combat achievements. And let's head over to where I was in Giant Mole. Yeah, so the only ones left are the kill count ones, all the way up to 100. We need to kill 100 hard mode mole. But otherwise, that was all we had to do. So let's head over to the task site, and I'm just going to search for giant mole so we can start checking these off. So we didn't get a drop, unfortunately. That would have been fun, but we did get stunned into silence. Well, actually, this says stunned and done, but I think it's the same. After stunning the berserk, that's what the chat box says. Yes, so that one's done. We did whack-a-mole beginner, which was the 4-minute kill, and we did less than 6 minutes in hard mode. And then we did this one less than 5 minutes in hard mode as well. And then if we head to our dashboard, we can complete this one less than 5 minutes in general and get a new task. And this new one is to do some chompy bird hunting. 225 kills. I think that's 100 more added on to what we had before. I'm pretty sure our last task was to stop at 125. So I will check that, but I also might need to make some more ogre arrows. I'm not certain on that. It is indeed an extra 100 chompy bird kills that I need to do, get up to 225. I've got 50 arrows, which theoretically probably should be enough with how abilities work. But I did want to show our current combat score in case you guys were curious. We're currently at 9 combat score. We've got 2 medium achievements and 5 easy. The first reward we get, War's Blessing 1, which has the useful Barrows teleport, we get in 10 more points. So I gotta hope that maybe I get like a God Wars 1 boss that I can do soon, because those probably have some decent tasks associated with them. The only 2 that I can get into right now are Zami and Bandos. I have the levels for them. We will have to get 70 ranged in this tier for Kriara, but I'm only 44. But those are some potential options for more combat achievements, because I would really like to get that Barrows portal when I can. And just to clarify, I know I've done it before. What I just did for that giant mole task was totally allowed. If you have, you know, a boss that you're killing for a task, obviously you're probably gonna finish some others. Like, I'm not gonna purposefully go slower and sit in a boss instance for multiple minutes so I only get the lower speed kill. But when you have a boss that you're killing for something, you are allowed to do to go for any combat achievements that you think you can reasonably get done. Obviously, once you finish that task, you're not allowed to try again. So let's say I failed some of these and I didn't get like the stun, for example, I wouldn't be able to go back in until I get another mole task in the future. But yeah, Chompy Birds is next on the list. In the chat box, you can see I accidentally went 1 kill over, but I killed 226 Chompy Birds. I only needed to kill 225, so that is this task completed. So we can head over to the handy dandy task site, mark this off, and get a new task. Our new one is to get the perfect shell in the Kandarin section of Slayer. So it's just killing tortoises. The mounted ones likely is what it says are the ones that need to be killed, but this likely shouldn't take too long, especially now that I have like 70s in my combat stats. On the ground here, we just got the perfect shell, which is our task. It wasn't a ton of kills. Opening rune metrics will take me a minute, because I'll have to sign in to it, but it didn't take too long at all. I'm not gonna bother finding the kill count for this because it's gonna take too long and I just want to get the clip over with. But we got the perfect shell and that's the task completed, and we can get a new one, which is back to the giant mole, this time with the express purpose of getting a unique. So I'm gonna figure out my best setup. I don't really want to use melee. It wasn't that comfortable. I'd much prefer necromancy or magic, but I don't know if I have like good enough gear to really justify it. Because if I look at my Death Warden, I'm tier 30 and I can't upgrade that until I get tasks. And then otherwise with magic, I'm in Mystic. Yeah, I think I just have to put up with the melee, but giant mole is our task. Fortunately, through my giant mole kills, I just reached 75 attack, as you can see. In terms of KC, I think that was 66 or 67. Yeah, I've done 66 hard mode kills. Nothing to show for it. I've only had 2 of the ultra growth potions, otherwise I haven't hit the unique table at all. But I believe if I reset these unlocks, I should have enough quest points to purchase Vanquish from the quest shop. The armor I'm not going to use, but I can now use a tier 75 melee weapon. So that is going to be a big plus over the scimitars I've used, I imagine. the 15 tiers of rank should be pretty good in comparison to the dual wield abilities. I am going to get strength back caught up to attack, then put it back on both of them. I swapped over to only attack while I was killing Mole partway through, so if I did keep going, I would eventually get the 75 attack that I just did. It is unfortunate that I've gone this far, but what can you do? But hopefully Vanquish will improve my kills, make them a bit easier. But we'll see on this next kill how well it does. Fortunately, no drop here, but that did, it was a solid improvement first kill, so I wasn't necessarily doing amazing, you know what I'm saying, but it was an improvement of 8.4 seconds, and that could probably be improved on as I have better luck and better management of my abilities and stuff. So overall, a 2.5 minute kill right now with tier 75 weapon, 75 melee stats, and only rock shell armor is pretty good in my opinion. In terms of drops, I need one of three things, either the Dragon 2H, the Clingy Mole, or the Pet. The Pet is a 1 in 500 because I'm doing hard modes, and the others are a 10 in 468 because I have tier 1 luck from the relic. So about a 1 in 46 for either of them. And I haven't gotten either of them, obviously, but Giant Mole, I'm at 67 KC for hard mode. And currently, if I come over here to my drop calculator, I'm at like an 84% chance to have gotten a drop. One of the three, but I haven't. So, oh, I think I misspoke, by the way. They're not both 10 in 468. The Dragon 2H is 2 in 468. The Clingy Mole is 10 in 468. But theoretically, I should have hit the rare drop table from the Mole, not the actual rare drop table like the RDT, but the Mole's rare drops at a 1 in 9 rate. I've had it twice in my 67 kills that I've done. I've had 2 ultra growth potions, that is it, nothing else. So I'm rather unlucky actually, but hopefully that turns around soon. I have a feeling that I'm gonna get the Pet first, which I would be cool with. I've done overall a couple hundred hard mode KC across all of my accounts and other taskmen, and I've never had the Pet, so it just feels like that's what's going to happen here, but we'll see what happens, obviously. I certainly wouldn't be mad about it, but I also wouldn't be mad about getting the Clingy Mole or the Dragon 2H. I do know that I will need the Mole in the future for an achievement. You need to attach it to a Dragonfire shield in the future and degrade it at KBD, I believe. But that'll be then. This is now. It wasn't the Mole Pet like I was thinking, but we got the Dragon Two-Hand Sword. That does actually complete a few things on the log, because the 2H is available at multiple bosses. So first, let's double check my KC. I did 80 hard mode on the dot, and I accidentally did 1 normal mode kill. I didn't start the instance in hard mode. Otherwise, I would have done hard mode. But that is 81 total KC for the Dragon 2H. In case you're curious, in terms of other drops, I did just get 1 thing of numbing roots a kill or 2 ago, and then I got 3 ultra growth potions. So overall, I've had 5 rolls on the rare drop table from Mole, and it's a 1 in 9. So in 80 kills, I should have seen basically 9 in 81 kills. But I've seen 5, so pretty unlucky. I did get lucky on the 2H instead of the Clingy Mole, though. The 2H is about a 1 in 230, 234, I think. The Clingy Mole is like a 1 in 46 or whatever, so it's much much more likely. I did also get 2 long bones from the grind. I know I have more in the bank, but you're just gonna have to believe me. And those are 1 in 400 each, so that's nearly the pet rate, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. The 2H, unfortunately, is kind of useless for me now, since I just got 75 attack, and I can use Vanquish, but nice to get the drop, I suppose. But we can actually come on over to the task site now. Let me throw that there, and we got the Dragon 2H sword and 81 KC. We can complete that task. We're at 23% easy, and we can get a new one. This new task is pretty quick. It's just to clear a shortcut in the Calphite Queen Hive, which is fine. But I am actually, speaking of Calphite Queen, we're going to look her up quick, because we finished a medium tier task as well by getting a Dragon 2H sword from Giant Mole. That counts that. And then also, if I search for the Chaos Elemental, it's also on the Chaos Elemental's drop table. So I can, as soon as that pops up, I can register a unique item at the Chaos Elemental. We got the Dragon 2H sword. And there we go. So those are 2 tasks that we completed with that, but I'm gonna go clear this shortcut. It won't take very long. Here we are at the Calphite King's entrance. I know I mentioned the Queen before, but it's actually the King's area, and this blocked tunnel here is all we have to clear, so it allows us to squeeze right through this from the entrance to the Calphite King's lair. It'll be useful maybe once ever in the future, but otherwise probably never going to be used. PVM Hub kind of makes all of the shortcuts like these kind of useless, which is a bit of a shame, but obviously PVM Hub is a great upgrade for everything. Makes bossing a lot faster. But that was a very simple task that we can come over here and mark off now, and we can get a new one. This next one is back to some fort building. I'm completely out of oak, I believe, because I used it all on the last building, so I'm going to have to cut some oak trees quick. But 120 oak logs, and you can buy the bricks, but we're gonna build the first tier of the chapel. Yeah, I've got 14 planks left, so I gotta get some more, but overall, shouldn't take too long. We're just about to finish building the chapel. There we go, and we get a level as we do it too, level 53 construction. Once again, not a super useful level, but a level nonetheless. And over on the task site, we can mark this off and move on to our next task. We're getting closer and closer to 25%. This next one, I have the option of whether I would like to finish off Mogres, or if I would like to go for Defenders. I think I might as well finish off the Mogres first, but afterwards will solely be on the Defender grind. It shouldn't take too long to get this unique anyway. The drops from Mogres are like a 1 in 30 or something, so not too bad at all. Here we are, Flippers acquired. I didn't keep track of the kills, but if you look in my chat box, probably about 20, 30. I'm not going to go through and count them all, because that seems like a waste of my time. But we can head on over to the task site, mark off Flippers. If we get another Asgardian Misthalin Slayer thing in the future, we're heading over to the Warriors Guild. We'll have to collect some tokens first before we'll be able to go kill the Cyclops, but we'll be on the Defender grind. And eventually getting the Dragon Defender will be good because we need that to get additional things from other bosses. Barrows, for example, has the Corruption Sigil, and then so on and so forth, up until the tier 90s from Calphite King. But that is this task completed, and we can get a new one quick. This new one is Cabbage Face Punch Bonanza, and I do believe I have enough points to immediately buy something, so I'm going to make my way over there, and we'll double check that. The other day I played some of the game while I was waiting for Garden of Tranquility to grow, if you remember, so I can check how many points I have. I'm pretty sure I had like 400 or 500, which should be enough for an ability of some kind. I've got 596, so let's see if any of these sound good to me. I'll take Giant Leap, I suppose. And on the task site, we will scroll on down to Giant Leap, complete that task. There's a Cabbage Face Punch done. This next one, we're back to AFK and some Rune Span for another 370 Rune Span points to buy rank 7 Esteem. So I'll see you guys then. The 370 Rune Span points have been acquired. So now I just need to come right here to Wizard Phoenix, go to Esteem, rank 7, purchase, and there we are. We are now rank 7 Esteem. Didn't take as long as I thought it was going to actually to get all those points, but that is the task complete. Puts us at a nice clean 25%. This next one, however, I am not looking forward to is to catch an unchecked Cobalt Chinchampa. They're 1 in 1500. Traps checked, not chins gotten. So if you have the agility and hunter levels to get multiple, that doesn't increase your chance. Unfortunately, it's just per traps checked, and it's a 1 in 1500. So they can be very rough to get, but there's not much you can do besides sit there and grind them out. If you have enough beans to get the trapper at player owned farm, that's great and amazing, and I highly recommend you do that so you can check him every day, and that's a great way to get a lot of these unchecked animals for the player owned farm. But if you don't have that and you don't have enough beans, you're stuck doing the hunting. So I'll grab my traps and get to it. Finally, in my inventory, you can see it. I have acquired the unchecked Cobalt Chinchampa. In case you're curious, 17,351. I will have to do the math quick to see how many traps that was, because it's 1 in 1500 traps, not chins caught. So 17,351. The wiki says it's an average of 4.1 per trap, which would be 4,231. The maximum is 6, so let's say I got 6 every single time, then that would be still 2,891. So on the drop calculator, even if it was the 2,680, whatever I just said, I had an 83% chance to have had one by now. The 4,300 number is closer to like over a 90, almost a 95% chance to have one. Overall, what I'm saying is I was extremely unlucky on this. And I know that I was just lucky on like the Barrows grind where I got an item in 2 chests and a few other things as well. But I was super unlucky on the past 3 tasks that I've had. The Turoths, which I went 4 times dry on. The Giant Mole, which was 80 kills, so that was about 3 times the rate of getting unique, and then this, which was once again about 3.5-ish times getting the rate. So yeah. I'm just glad I finally got it, and this task can finally be completed. So I need to grab Taskman's site. Haven't been here in a bit. There we are. What's the number here? 4,231. So here we are. 4,231 is what I'm putting in. Complete this task, generate a new one. Our next task is medium Damenheim area tasks. Overall, it should be pretty easy. The most difficult thing is probably that frost dragon, it seems like, if that is in this section. I know it can be hard to find. It's based partially on your combat level. I've never really had an issue. Just do large frozen floors and you will eventually find it. Where's Damenheim in this list? Up here. I already have 8 of the 13 done, so I only have 5 more to do. One of which is the frost dragon, the other is set a spine beam trap I've made myself. Then I need to boost my magic level with a potion of tier 2 or higher that I've made myself, create a portent of passage 5 or above, and the beast mode title on a complexity 6 floor solo. So I'll make my way to Damenheim, and these should be pretty quick tasks depending on the frost dragon. Okay, I believe this should be making the magic potion, and then did I need to drink it? Yes. There we go, that is that one done. And then this dungeon, I have also, this floor, gone through, and I believe I have obtained all of the resources and stuff, so this should be beast mode. There shouldn't be a problem with that. And then I will also, I don't remember if spine beam, oh, I actually have spine beam in my inventory, so I can craft a trap. I don't actually have to catch anything with the trap, I just need to craft one and then lay it down. So there we go, that is spinal trap. The only things left are the frost dragon, create a portent of passage 5 or above, and then gain beast mode, which I should get when I finish this floor, which I already did. I just need to run through and go through the ladder. So I'll see you guys in a second, and hopefully that'll be beast mode done. So here we are at the end of the floor. Let's end the dungeon. Skip, there we go, I did get beast mode. So the only 2 things I have left, I just need specific resources on floors. I need the correct tier of divination memories, and then I need a frost dragon. So I'm basically just going to run large dungeoneering floors until I find them. At this point, I am not supposed to complete those floors, because I don't need the dungeoneering XP, and neither of them require me to complete a floor to do so. The only reason I had to complete that one was because I needed the beast mode title, which you get for completing. So I'm just going to run through large frozen floors until I hopefully find a frost dragon and an altar, and then also the correct divination tier that I need. So this should be the portent of passage that I need to make. So now the only thing left is to find and use the frost dragon bones on an altar. So I really just have to get lucky at this point. I do have 90 combat. The higher combat you are, the more likely you are to find higher level monsters. So it's just, there's not much I can do at this point. It's just running through floors and hopefully finding one. If I do find one, I don't remember the construction level to make an altar at the front, but you do need to find both. There is a luck component involved. You have to find both a dragon and an altar, and sometimes you don't. If you have a high enough construction level, you can make an altar in the front room. You can replace the portal, but I feel like I probably don't have a high enough construction level. I feel like it's like 60 or 70 to do that, but I am not sure. So yeah, it's just running through and hoping I get lucky now. It took a few dungeons, but in my inventory I have the frost dragon bones, and I was just searching and I finally found the altar. So be very careful not to accidentally bury them. Use them on the altar. 720 prayer XP, and that is the Up to the Gods achievement complete. So now I just need to speak to Marmaros, the rewards trader outside, and that will be the end of this task. The medium Damenheim achievements will be completed. Earlier about something, I said you weren't allowed to complete floors. I thought that was the truth in the past, and maybe they changed the rules on it since the last time I've seen anybody discuss it. But when we look at the task site, I'll show you that it says you're actually allowed to. But first, here are the rewards. We get an increased aura, 2k Dungeoneering tokens, and a lamp, which I'll throw on Herblore. 8k XP puts us up to level 54. I did look, by the way, I don't remember if I told you, but we need to get level 60 in this tier. That is the highest Herblore level that we need for the tier. But over on the task site, if you look here, it says you may defeat the boss and complete floors when working on the Frost Dragon achievement. So I don't know for sure if that's new or not, but you don't actually have to avoid the XP, so you're good to do that. But it didn't really matter for me anyway. But we can complete this task and get a new one. This new one is to do some Wilderness Slayer, and I don't believe I have anything here. I do not. So the majority of this stuff is from Revenants. However, there are a few other things, such as these Ancient Warrior Equipment patch, the Fremnik patch, the Drop Enhancer, the Wilderness Hilt, and Adrenaline Crystal, which can be dropped by other monsters. I need to do some research because I've never done it this way before. I've always done revs to begin with, but I want to be able to access monsters in the wilderness for Slayer training as soon as I can. So I'm actually going to not do Revenants right away, and I'm going to try and find something to kill that can just give these extra things from the Wildy Slayer drop table, so that in the future I don't have to avoid them. Off the top of my head, I think the things that people tend to kill are green dragons or hellhounds, but I'm gonna have to double check on that. So I'm gonna do some research to figure out what to kill for this task, and then I'll be back. So I've clearly got the right idea of where to kill things to get the shared wilderness drop table. I just got some melee brawling gloves. Unfortunately, it's not what we're after, but that is on the shared wilderness table. All of the brawling glove types are. They're actually rarer, much rarer than any of the others. So I'm pretty sure what I just got is like a 1 in 60,000 drop, according to what this says on the wiki. Whereas the like hilt and stuff that I'm after is, you know, like a 1 in 2k or a 1 in 500 for stuff. But the hellhounds have a basically a 1 in 100-ish chance to roll on the table. These level 105 ones specifically. So that's why I am here killing them. My gear is not that great. If I had like tier 50 necromancy tank armor and necromancy weapons, I feel like necromancy with blood siphon and the ghost would be a lot better, but I don't have that yet. I'm using tank armor instead of the rock shell to last a little bit longer, and basically I'm just coming here with a couple prayer pots and an inventory full of gnome food, and I kill these two at once, and then I teleport back using the Edgeville lever, and then come over here and kill them. But yeah, like I said, about a 1 in 100 to roll on the table. We can only so we're looking for the Fremnik equipment patch, the Ancient Warrior equipment patch, an Adrenaline Crystal, Wilderness Hilt, or Rev Drop Enhancer. The Adrenaline Crystal might not be on there. It is. But yeah, those are the drops we're looking for. But we got Brawling Gloves instead. I don't know when I'm ever going to use them, actually. It honestly might not be a bad idea to use them now while I'm out here training, but yeah, I don't know. I'll bank them for now. But this is where I'm just gonna chill for a while. It's not too bad, and I'm getting fairly decent kills. But yeah, this is what I've decided on. Trip, and I just remembered something. We haven't gotten far enough to attach this to our tool belt yet, so having it in our inventory is what we need to do to get the effects, actually, I do believe. And one of the effects from the Infernal Puzzle Box that I have from doing Daughter of Chaos is I get a 10% damage reduction and a 5% increase in damage to monsters in the wilderness, so that'll actually be helpful for what I'm doing currently. So that is why I grabbed it, and I'll see, hopefully it'll make a difference here. But back to killing hellhounds. We just got the Revenant Drop Enhancer. That is one of the rarer items, I do believe, on the list. That is a 1 in 2.3k-ish from these hellhounds. The only one that's rarer is the Ancient Warrior equipment patch at 4700. But that is our task completed, and that'll be useful in the inventory in the future, going to revs, which I likely won't be doing for a while, because the whole point is to try and get these wilderness drops before I go to revenants. But yeah, we'll see. But we head on over to the task site. I can mark off, where is it? Revenant drop enhancer, and I also can refresh my rune metrics. Hellhounds, I've killed 308 of them, so that's 308 KC. Complete this task and we can get a new one. Our new task is to obtain a uniquely colored tribal mask, wear it, and kill another Broodoo victim of the same. I only have 2 blue masks, so it appears that I will actually need to get additional masks, but this really isn't going to be like an issue. I just chill and cut some stuff, and I shouldn't have to worry about like dying anymore like back in the beginner tier. I've got a lot higher combat. In case you didn't see, I have 60 defense now. I was training that while killing the hellhounds. The goal for melee training is probably going to be continue to do defense until at least 70, so that if I get any Barrow's armor, I can wear it. But yeah, after that I'll go back to attack and strength, but I'm just gonna chill and kill some jungles and hopefully find some Broodoo victims. Find the achievement just to double check. It says activities minigames. What's this one called? Hoodoo Broodoo. There we go. Yes, it did count. I did just get a second orange tribal mask. So I was wearing the orange one, so if it happened to spawn while I wasn't looking, I would kill it and it would count. So that is this task completed. There's one more for the actual achievement, but I haven't seen any of those Broodoo victims. So I do have 2 oranges and 2 blues now, but I did also, if I scroll up in my chat, you can see I got 2 gout tubers within like 10 seconds of each other. So I've got that for the future, for the Karamja diary, which is nice. And we're up to 85% Taibo One Eye favor. So almost at that 100 that we'll need eventually. But that's the task. We won't be back here until we roll the next one, but we can head on over to the task site and mark off the orange tribal mask. Like I said, I didn't see any of the green ones, unfortunately, but next time. And this next one is going to be super quick. I just need to mount a basilisk head in my house, so I need 2 cheek planks, and I need to grab one of my basilisk heads and go get it stuffed. But I'll see you in the house when I'm ready to mount it. Here I am at my house. I think I have to build a separate, unfortunately, a separate hall for each and every head, which kind of sucks, but here we go. We'll build another one right here. Yeah, because there's 1 fish spot and 1 slayer head spot in each of these. But there we go. That is the basilisk head mounted on the wall. So that is the end of this task. I don't remember the KC, so I'm not going to put it here, but my basilisk luck was really lucky. Our new task, we need to do the feud quest, at least part of it, but since we can start a quest, we can finish it, and then we get a free beer for this achievement. So I don't know if that has any other requirements that I need to do, or if it's just straight up do the feud. Yeah, it's just straight up do the feud quest. 15,000 thieving XP is quite nice. It'll get us a level, but it should be a pretty quick quest to do. soon as I talk to Ali Morsane, that should be the end of the feud quest. And then I just need to make my way back to Paul Nivnich to actually do the task that I have to do. Doing this quest is also important for some other tasks. I know we're going to have to unlock the rest of his shops later doing the little mini quest. So that's something that we will have to do. But to actually finish the task, I need to get a free beer at the bar in Paul Nivnich, so I will come back to you once I make it there. Now we just come over here to the bar, we talk to the barman, and we tell him that somebody's poisoned the drink, and then he gives us a free beer. And that is the achievement completed. So we can head on over to the task site and mark this off and get a new task. This new one is quite quick. I just need to head up to KS Elemental and let it take my equipment off of me with its attack. So I'm gonna grab some food because I will still get damaged, but then I'm going to make my way there. Just make sure you have at least one free inventory space so that it can unequip something and you're good to go. I can see the Chaos Elemental over here in the distance. All we need to do is just get in combat with him and sit here. We're not supposed to kill him, so yeah, I'm just straight up gonna sit here. I'll eat when I need to and run away from these abyssal savages because I do not want to deal with them. I'm gonna turn auto retaliate off so I don't accidentally attack him. There we go. That's one disequipment. There we go. That is 5 times. And that is the end of the task. So we can head on over to the task site, mark this off quick, get a new task. Our next task is actually a really nice one. We get to upgrade to the tier 40 Death Warden set and the weapons, so that's actually really useful. I have all the levels necessary, but I'm gonna have to do some rituals and the task for Killy, obviously. I just finished Killy's tasks, and I believe I have everything in my inventory. So right here at the Soul Forge, I should just need to go through and actually upgrade all of these, and we'll have our tier 40 set of necromancy gear. It would be great if I could go like right into the tier 50 set next, but it's just RNG, so we will see what happens, but it's nice to get these upgrades. Necromancy is going to be a very important style in the future. But there we go. We've upgraded a full set of Death Skull and Death Warden equipment to tier 40. So our task is complete, and I do also want to double check what this unlock is. My assumption is it's just more ectoplasm we can stock. Yeah, we can stack up to 400 ectoplasm when we need it. But we can complete that task and generate a new one. This new one is back to Menaphos for some fire making and wood cutting. Last time we got the Desert Locust from wood cutting. We need the Fruit Fly and Amber from fire making, the Menaphite Honeybee from fire making, and the Calphite Wanderer from wood cutting. So I'll bank everything and make my way over there. There we are. We just got the Fruit Fly and Amber, which is one of the fire making bugs. So we can check this off. Discovered a new insect. And I gotta open the task site. But there we are. I did not keep track of the KC, quote unquote KC, how many logs it took. Like before, I've just been cutting and immediately burning them, so I don't actually know. But that was the Fruit Fly, which is one of the fire making and one of the wood cutting down. And we can complete this task and get a new one. This new one is to claim the Gower lamps. In order to do that, we need level 50 in all free-to-play skills and I do have the majority of them. From quick remembering, I think the only 2 that I need to train is smithing and, funny enough, ranged. I think those are the only 2 that I have left. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for those and then get to it. The smithing might actually take a while. It's 7 levels or so, plus I'm going to have to mine everything. So, yeah. I have finished up the skill training that I needed to do. Before I said that I only had range and smithing to do, I believe, but I also had cooking to do as well. For smithing, I just mined and then smithed mithril arrow tips for future fletching use. It didn't take too long, it was only about 400 bars or so. For ranged, I trained on banshees. I just did that, it was super quick. I didn't get the champion scroll, but I did get an ectoplasmator. That is on the general Slayer collection log, so it's safe to get. You're allowed to get everything on here. The cooking training was done entirely based on raw stuff that I already had in my bank. I basically barely had enough fish in there to get to 50 cooking. I had to fish 1 inventory of lobsters after I cleared out my bank, but afterwards I had the level. The only 2 skills that are not at 50 now, assuming I'm reading correctly, technically there's 3. Invention, which we don't have access to obviously, summoning, which is a member skill, and archaeology, which is a member skill. So I should just have to speak to the various brothers and ask them for rewards. And there, I got a lamp. I think all 3 of them give a lamp. I went in the opposite order, I think, so I got the 50 XP lamp first. But there we go, I got all of the rewards from the brothers after the quest. I'm gonna hang on to these for a second, just in case my next task is a specific kind of XP that I need to gain that I can use them on. But we can complete this task. The task was only to claim the lamps, it didn't say to use them, so our new task is back to Wilderness Slayer. So that's just back to Hellhounds. I'm not gonna use these lamps on like a melee like combat skill or anything. There's no use. Unfortunately, oh, they can only be used on free-to-play skills, it looks like. So, what do I want to put this on? I think crafting, honestly, just to save me a little bit of gem mining in my future. It barely got me up a level to level 54. Shame that those couldn't be used on member skills, but I suppose it makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna gear up and make my way back to doing some Wilderness Slayer. Oh, also, in case you didn't realize, I did make myself the full set of spined armor. I'm wearing that right now. I had all of the hides were Slayer drops from the beginner tier, if you remember, but the other Dagonoth hides needed to make the set I had gotten from Dagonoth Kings, I believe, during my Rex task. When I got the warrior ring, I had gotten just barely enough hides to make the full set, basically. But yeah, back to Hellhounds in the wilderness with melee, I think, to try and get another wilderness drop. Didn't take too long at all. We just got the Fremnik equipment patch. That's actually a useful item. I can use it on one of my pieces of skeletal or spined or rock shell for the future. But B, that is the task complete. I don't have total Hellhound kills. Well, actually, I might. Yes, I do, actually. Overall, I have killed 378. So we're actually fairly lucky based on the drop tables, from how I understand it at least. But we can head on over to the task site, and that is the Fremnik equipment patch. That is the most common item to get from the Wilderness shared drop table for these, but that was a pretty quick task. Let's complete it and get a new one. In the future for those tasks, I still would hope that I can get like my next necromancy upgrade, some more necromancy upgrades before I go back for those. Back to cabbage face punch, but actually I might have enough Thaler to... I do. I'm gonna buy the seat aside. A while ago, a few weeks ago, I chilled at Castle Wars for a while, and I plan on doing that again the next Castle Wars spotlight there is. But I currently have about almost 900 Thaler. The seat aside only costs 300 to buy from there, and it's actually just a good thing to have. So I'm going to make my way to wherever the Thaler store is currently, and I'm going to purchase the seat aside at Stanley Limelight at the fishing trawler. I believe it's in the skill gear, but it might be in miscellaneous. No, down here in skill gear, as you can see, I have 871 Thaler. I can buy the seat aside for 360. It's a one-time purchase, and that's that. There are some nice like passives that you can get from here by spending Thaler, like stuff like this penance stuff from Barbarian Assault, the Void stuff, so on and so forth. These outfits and the titles as well, I believe, are listed somewhere. Yeah, these down here are passives. These with the additional heads from monsters are passives. So chilling at Castle Wars and just AFKing during Spotlight and getting some Thaler is a great thing to do for your passives on Taskman, so consider that if you ever see it on Spotlight. We usually call it out in the clan chat and also on the task site itself. There's over on the side, like currently, Fishing Trawler is the mini game, and it shows you what's next. Like next is Great Orb Project, but so keep an eye on that and you can see when Castle Wars is coming up. But there's our seat aside, and that's a task complete, and we can get a new one, inching closer and closer to 30%. This next one's not too bad. It's just a bit of an annoying task. It's to catch some of the scarabs at Het's Oasis. I don't remember. I think the last one they left off on was 500, so it might be doubling what we've done so far to get all the way to 1,000. I'll check, but yeah, all we're doing is catching some scarabs. Not anything crazy. The last task did indeed end at 500, so we need to go to 1,000. I don't mind scarab catching. I just wish the increased stack was a much sooner upgrade, because it only matters for that last 2,000. But yeah, all you do, handle a crocodile, catch the whirligigs. You can stack up to 3 at our level before you get that, and we just do this until we get up to 1,000. So keep an eye on your chat though, and your inventory. It is possible to get some uniques, and there's the one unique, the aura upgrade for the Desert Pantheon aura, that if you don't see it, you won't know you got it until you have the aura, which we don't get until much later. So try to keep an eye on that. I accidentally went a couple of scarabs over, but we have the 1k for the flower saving chance. We didn't get any uniques. We did get a small amount of the pieces of het and a decent amount of memory shards. I have a pretty big stack now in the bank from the Chinchompa grind I had. So I think I'm at like 3k overall now. So when I have a bit of a higher div level, I can use those to make some like low level porters and stuff for archaeology tasks. So that's one good thing to come out of the chin grind going on for so long. At least it was a good thing that I switched my Memorial of Gothics to the Hunter one where you get these memory shards. But we can head on over to the task site now and mark this task completed and get ourselves a new one. This new one, we need to do the Dwarf Cannon quest because I have not done that yet, and then I need to make 1,000 cannonballs. So the quest is quick. I don't know how long it's going to take to make the cannonballs, but presumably not too bad. End of the Dwarf Cannon quest. We're 5 quest points away from another quest I may, which is nice. I made sure to grab a second ammo mold to add on to my tool belt. The only thing I have to do now is make 1,000 cannonballs. You get 4 per bar, so I need 250 steel bars. I believe I have the coal already, but I likely need to mine iron to be able to make them. So let's check the furnace first. I've got 220 coal, so I actually need to grab 1 inventory basically, but yeah, iron, I'm at basically nothing, so gotta go mine some of that. All the steel was made, all of the iron mined, I already had enough coal, all the steel was made, and we have 1,000 cannonballs in our inventory. They're nice to have. If I do use the cannon for something though, I'm gonna go through them incredibly quick. 1,000 cannonballs do not last long at all. But we are going to go on over to the task site and we are going to complete this task and get a new one. This new one, a good one, very quick, most likely. I need some steel nails, which I can buy from the Fort Ferentry, I believe, and I need 10 oak planks, and I've got enough beans, but I need to build the second small pen on player-owned farm. It'll be nice to have. I still don't have great animals to use. I only have 1 chin, unfortunately, so I don't have a breeding pair of chins, but you know, I eventually will. But I already have enough oak planks as well, so I just bought the steel nails, and let's head on over to player-owned farm and we can buy the deed and build this pen. Here we are. I think I'm only like near 1,000 beans. Not even that close. I'm at 771, but I can buy the small pen deed too. Confirm. And that is right over here. We can build this. Build this paddock. And there we go. That is the task complete. A quick one. But it's good to get these player-owned farm unlocks. The sooner you get them, the sooner you can use them. Our next one is to not allow the Chaos Elemental to unequip something. So I'm going to fill my inventory quick and then just chill while he attacks me, basically. So let me just grab some random things from my bank and then I'll make my way there. There, I filled my inventory with some food and ogre bellows. But I'll see you guys once I'm at the Chaos Elemental. Over here to good old Chaos Elemental. I did double check just to make sure I didn't accidentally achieve it before. And I also didn't mention before, I did technically end up eventually getting the kill for Chaos Elemental hours later. Somebody must have killed it somehow, and it applied the kill to me. Like, that's typically not supposed to happen, and I don't know how Chaos Elemental's coded, I guess, but I did get credit for a kill hours later when I was smithing, I think. But there we go, that's layering up. Don't allow the Chaos Elemental's attack to unequip something. Let's teleport out of here quick so I don't die. And also, in terms of our combat achievements, that puts us up at 13 points. We need 6 more to be able to get this War Blessing 1, which gives us the really nice quick access to the middle during barrows. Like I said before, I would really like to get that, but I think at this point the only like things that I can get would be, because I've done all of Mole, I've done the barrows for other ones that I can, and so KBD, there are a few that I can do if I get a KBD task, which there is one, I believe. So KBD task would be great. And then other than that, I would need a God Wars 1 task that I can do, which would be Krill or Grardor. Either of those, I do have the chance to actually get into the room. I have the stats required. And I would focus on getting some of these done so that Barrows will be easier in the future. But I would have to get lucky to get those tasks. But we did this task, a nice and quick one. We can head over to the site, complete this. By the way, that said do not kill the boss, so make sure you don't kill the boss. This one, obtain a Slayer staff from ham members. I need to do Lost Her Marbles. I don't know if I've done all of the prereqs, but all of the Thieving Guild quests are super quick, and then I just thieve from ham members. So hopefully I get some easy clues as well, but this should be a relatively quick task. So I am in the middle of doing the Lost Her Marbles quest. I have all the prereqs. It's just pickpocketing various NPCs to get these flame fragments. You need to get like 32, 36 of them, and then the quest is complete. It's relatively easy. You do get some decent rewards and quite a bit of thieving XP from it, but I realized I could come here quick and upgrade the storehouse. So that will be a passive that I can mark off. Let me set this up to get the things needed for the sleeping quarters. Wood, leaves, hide. The reason I came to Anachronia really wasn't for this specifically. It was so I could try and build the spa to do familiarization, because that's going to happen in a few minutes. But I still don't have clay to do so. So I think I'm actually going to take one away from something, probably the leaves since I have the most, and throw it in clay. So I will slowly build that up over time, so I'll be able to build it in the future. For the unlimited run. I'm still going to do this familiarization when it happens in a few minutes, most likely, but that's why I'm here. But I'm going to work on the quest and then potentially do that familiarization for another passive. But also, I should actually come to the site and search for the storehouse, because that was a passive we just did by upgrading it to tier 3. Constructed the tier 3 storehouse. There we go. We're at 27 passives to go, so we do need to crack on and get some of these done faster. I haven't been great about doing the cats that have been showing up. I think yesterday's was one I could have gotten, but I forgot and didn't end up doing it, so I need to pay more attention to the cats. But otherwise, I have been getting something done, but I'm going to need to do almost 30 more by the end of the tier, and we're almost a third of the way through. And generally, the tiers get faster and faster as you go through them, because you start to have more recs and stuff done for tasks. But yeah, that's everything for now. We just finished up the familiarization game. I want the summoning ingredients, open the box, and we got ourselves these shaman hand wraps. So we can come on over to the task site, search for shaman, and that'll be another passive complete. I actually don't remember how much of the outfit I have. So I think we're most of the way done with it though. 2 more pieces. We need the leggings and then the headdress. And then there is another task involving familiarization. Just a quick tip that this says as well. Once you have the full shaman outfit, you're more likely to get a familiar that you haven't played in the game, but also, I believe, you can just enter and then immediately exit. You don't have to actually finish the game. So every week you can just go into a familiarization and then leave, and it'll still work towards completing that task. So that's something to keep in mind once we get there. But back to our actual task, which is to obtain a Slayer staff from ham members after doing Lost Her Marbles. So I've got part of the quest done. I've got 6 of the shards so far. I need to go get more. So that's what I'm going to do. More pickpocketing. that is the end of the quest. We got 5,000 thieving XP at the end and the 4,800 from turning in flame fragments, so nearly 10k thieving XP from the quest. Quite good. And then if you look in my inventory, we also got a decent amount of some decent logs, 126 teak logs and 255 maples. Those are pretty nice. A small amount of raw lobsters and raw swordfish. An okay amount of runes, 45 law runes, 55 natures, and then some goldstone spirits and some coalstone spirits. The easy clue was already in my inventory. But that was the quest complete, so the only thing we have left now is to go thieve ham members until we get the Slayer staff from them. It's not super rare, but this will be a nice way to hopefully get a few additional easy clue scrolls as well for the future. I believe I have one more easy clue task in this tier to do, and getting clues is one of my least favorite things to do on those tasks. I wish ham members were nice and AFK, but I don't have enough gear and high enough level for that to be real. We get caught a lot, unfortunately, but yeah. See, we already got caught 2 seconds in, and that's even with, I know it's only the base aura that I have right now, but I still do have the aura going. But yep, time to chill here until we get a Slayer staff. Slayer staff, I haven't dropped anything yet. It literally only took this long. I can drop everything else. I barely got anything at all. But yeah, that's the end of this task. It was quite quick. I'm glad we got it. Let's head on over to the site and complete this task and generate a new one. Over 30% easy. This next one is to construct the second tier of the Fort Fern 3 Town Hall. We need 264 maple planks. Luckily, we did just get like 200 something maple logs. So I've got 255. So I need to do one inventory of maple logs, and then I'll be able to finish this task up. It's going to take a bit to make all of those into planks and then into the frames and to build it, but it's nice that we have the majority of the materials already. E6 construction, as we finished building the town hall, upgrading it to tier 2, and that is also the end of the task. So we're going to come over to the task site. We're going to mark this off, and we're going to get a new one. Our new task, this one's annoying, but it doesn't really require much. We just have to run around Sentiston and hop worlds and catch Rowena 5 times. She can only spawn in certain places. There's a map on the wiki. I'd recommend looking at it, and you just have to approach her. You'll get an achievement once you've done all 5 times. We are in the chat box. You can see I just got the paranormal activity achievement. That means I must have found her before, because I only found her 3 times here. So I must have accidentally run into her before when I was in Sentiston. Totally possible, and I just don't remember it. But that's the task complete. We can head on over to the test site and complete this task and generate a new one. This new one is interesting. It's to register a unique item in the Arc Glacier section of our boss collection log. So I'm actually going to take a quick look at the Arc Glacier combat achievements to see if there are any that I could feasibly do right now. The likelihood, probably not great, but I'm curious. So I'm gonna take a look and see, but otherwise I'm almost certainly only going to be able to do 0 or maybe 1 mechanics. On the bright side, it's a safe death, so I won't lose a status as long as I'm in not hard mode. And we're almost certainly going to get the Glacier Remnants. It's possible that we get the book or an artifact, or maybe even some Nihilus, but it's very unlikely. The remnants are really what you're looking for, and it usually only takes a couple of kills to get. So I'm going to check on possible combat achievements. I'm going to gear up, and then we're gonna go. Fortunately, all of the achievements require basically mechanics or enrage, so I can't really do them so no combat achievement points will be gotten this task, but I am just going to make my way there and probably do 0 mechanic and just chill. It's going to be rough. My hit chance with only tier 75 melee on Vanquish, probably not great, to be completely honest. But getting 1 kill will make getting back there a whole lot easier with the PVM hub portal. But I got to run there the long way for now, but I'm prepped and ready to go. Finally, we got some Glacore remnants. The drop rate for these are about a 3 in 11 based on what I was doing. So a couple months ago, they changed our Glacior's drop table, so you don't get 3 piles when you do just 1 or 2 mechanics anymore. So, or actually, it's for when you do 0 or 1 mechanic. You don't get 3 piles. You have to do at least 2 mechanics to get 3 piles. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up doing 3 mechanics, so I would get 3 piles. I did try 1 kill. That was a 5 mechanic kill, and I probably could have slogged through it. It would have been rough, but the biggest issue I had was the arms for the exposed core attack. They have 17,500 HP, and my damage output just isn't that high that I can't break them very fast. And also, with all 5 mechanics enabled, the boss has like 365,000 health or something. So it would have been a long fight. I probably could have done it using Rezo with the cannon beam, but it wouldn't have been great. We did get some decent loot. We got like a handful of Orichalcum salvage, some decent charms, some spirit weed seeds, that kind of stuff, which is pretty good. But we can head over to the task site and we can mark this off. We got Glacial remnants. My kill count was, I believe, 11. I will double check. Yes, I killed 11. And like I said, the drop rate was 3 in 11 for all of my kills but 1. I did 1 0 mechanic kill before I realized the drop changes. So I still went like technically almost 3 times dry, quote unquote. But that is this task completed, and we can get ourselves a new one. I need to get a second crawling hand. This shouldn't take too long. I should kill the hands quite quickly now. And it's like a 1 in 500, I think, or maybe a 1 in 1,000. I do also want to check quick. I think I might have completed a passive for getting 100 boss kills. Yes, unlock the second boss portal at War's Retreat is a passive that I have done. I can show you in a second. So I'm going to tick that off, unlock the boss portal at War's Retreat, the second boss portal. And if I come back over to the game, you can see we barely got up to 103 kills, so I can unlock this second portal. We're at almost 2,500 marks of war. I still need to double that to get the Vampirism aura, basically, which I would really like. It would be really helpful, but not much I can do about it. But yes, I need to specifically get a second crawling hand, so I'm going to head on over to the Slayer Tower and kill some crawling hands. Ah, finally, here we go. We got the crawling hand drop. It's a 1 in 500 drop, and it took us... You're never gonna guess. Once again, we're unlucky. It took us 1,171 minus 16, so 1155. 1,155 kills for this. I don't recall what KC I got the first hand at, so I don't know. I don't remember. I think I got it before the 500, but still not great to go 1155 for this one. But we can head on over to the task site. I can mark this off, 1155, complete this task, and let's get ourselves a new one. This new one is to get a unique in the Karamja section of our Slayer log. So we have the choice here. We can kill dragons for dragon plate legs and a dragon plate skirt, or we can kill obsidian creatures in the Czar area, which I think I'm gonna go do because I don't have great gear for metal dragons. It's a good idea to do metal dragons if you have the combat for them, so that when you do Slayer, you're able to do those tasks because they tend to be quick tasks. So it's a good idea to get those done, but it's not entirely required. Getting something like the obsidian cape is fairly common, as well as some of, like, they drop a lot of weapons and it depends on which ones you kill. They have different rates for the cape and stuff, so I'm probably gonna come in here, kill meleeers and rangers, and because my hit chance on the magic users is probably gonna be pretty awful, so I'm probably gonna avoid them. But yep, that's the plan. Extremely lucky and got the Ring of Stone, which is a 1 in 5,000 drop. That is not the one that I was expecting to get. I was expecting to get, you know, one of the 1 in 300, like the cape or the weapons. But, you know, I'll take the 1 in 5,000. We would have to get it eventually. So that's nice to have. My kills, I think it was about 200-300, but I will double check. 232 overall is how many I've killed, so incredibly lucky on this, but over various accounts I have killed lots and lots of Czar creatures, and definitely well over 5,000, so it's not that crazy in terms of my overall life luck and about the ring. But yeah, that's, let's mark it off. It was very much a surprise, but we'll take it. And our new task after that is just to use a raw potato on the ancient Zagamite by Irby Werby. So I've got to grab a potato and make my way over there. Completed the run all the way over here to the ancient Zagamite Elder. First, I wanted to check the shop just to see if I had enough points for the herb bag. I don't, clearly. I need to do Irby Werby one more time, but I haven't had an opportunity. But our actual task is to use a potato on him. And there we go. That's an achievement done. So we can head on over to the task site, complete this task. It was really fast. It just took, you know, 12 years to run here across the island. But our next task here is to make 22 Irrit incense sticks. So we need 1 Irrit, 2 accursed ashes, and 2 maple logs. I know for a fact I just used all of my maple logs, so I'm gonna have to go cut 44 of those. I don't think I have accursed ashes, so I'm going to have to stock up on those, but I should be good on the Irrits, I believe. So I'm gonna stock up on supplies and then we'll make these. Just about to finish. There we go. There are the 22 Irrit incense sticks. I actually did have the accursed ashes already, so it was just getting the maple logs that I needed. These incense sticks increase, or they reduce poison damage by 25%, so really not that useful in my opinion. I'd rather just use an anti-poison or something, you know, but we have them, so that's cool. And this unlock, I'm fairly certain, just allows us to stock a higher amount. We can now stock 44 incense sticks. But that's the end of this task. And we can move on to our next one. Back to thieving in Menaphos. This one specifically is from stalls, so I need to figure out what stalls I can thieve there and get to it. Here we are. I got 1 thieving level, but there's the fly dragon in amber, so that is the end of this task. We can head on over to our favorite good old task site. Check this off. and move on to our next task. Next one is back to barrows. Unfortunately, I don't have the combat achievement yet for the portal, but I do have Vanquish now, so I'm probably going to melee instead of using mage. But overall, barrows should be fine. Drops are relatively common, so I doubt it will take too long. Hopefully I don't go dry on this like I have on the past like 6 drops from PVM. To be fair, I did just get really lucky with that Ring of Stone though, so I guess I can't really complain anymore. But yep, barrows time. Unfortunately, they, as I stated, the only combat achievement they have left that I could do, but I can't, I don't have the weapons, is to defeat them all with their own weapon. So unfortunately, nothing I can do there. Got a pair of Darrock plate legs, so that's our barrows item. I think I had, it was a Varrock plate skirt, right, that I had before, so I've got 2 leg items. Yeah, not the greatest. I would have preferred getting a chest or a headpiece, so I would have, you know, a whole set kind of to wear, but still I'll take it. That's my barrows KC total is 7, so that was only a few more chests. It didn't take long at all. So let's head on over to the task site. We can mark off 7KC, scroll down to find the Darrock's plate legs, and complete this task. As I said, I'm hoping before barrows again I get more combat achievements so I can get the portal, but we're heading back to crocodiles to catch 500 more scarabs at Het's Oasis. It won't take too long, but gotta go do it. So I'm catching my scarabs, but this message that I just got in my chat is the one that you really want to pay attention for. You improve your Desert Pantheon Aura's Strength of Het to the Might of Het power. Because if you don't see that, you're not gonna know you got that, and the only way you'll be able to know in the future is by getting the actual Desert Aura and then seeing then. But we don't get that for a while in Taskman. So that is a task completed though, accidentally, another Het's Oasis unique. So I'm going to head on over to the task site and search for that and mark it off quick. I believe it is. I just need to, but yeah, obtain a unique from Het's Oasis. Here we go. And we got the Might of Het Desert Pantheon effect. So the only 2 we have left after this are cosmetic armor and the gaiters, which are a cosmetic footwear. But that was really nice to get, and I'm glad that I caught it when I was paying attention. But that is a task done a little bit early, but I still have a couple hundred more scarabs to catch. I'm not sure how rare the Het's Oasis uniques are, but we did just get another one. We got the Warrior of Het armor. So back to the task site. We can come on to the tasks, search for Het's Oasis again. And then there's only 1 unique left, which is the gaiters. So in the future, I mean, I still could potentially get it from this task. We'll see. But I have other, like, Het's Oasis stuff to do in the tier. You know, I have to get golden roses. I have to get enough of the statue pieces to rebuild it, and more scarabs, and so on. So there's definitely a pretty decent possibility that I get it in this tier. But still got some scarabs to grab, I believe. Yeah, I'm about 80, 90 away, so almost done with the task, but a little bit more to go. Needed, so that is the 1.5k needed for the increased XP rate. We're still making our way along this upgrade path, but that's our task completed. We did get a couple additional tasks done with it, so that was really nice, but our main task is now done. We can move on to the next one. Great thing we got that crawling hand earlier. This will be super quick. I just need to grab it and a couple teak blinks from the bank, stuff it, and head to my house. have to build yet another one of these trophy halls so that I can actually build this. It is annoying. I wish they would give us the option like old school has for some things where we can switch between them in one spot so we could build them all. But there's our crawling hand built. And we can come on over here, complete this task. We're making our way through quite quickly on these last few tasks. This next one is to do the Total Combat mini quest. I already prepped everything for this, I believe, so I shouldn't have to wait. It's just do it and then find Edward the turtle afterwards. So that is what I'm gonna do. The mini quest is pretty quick if I remember, so it shouldn't take too long. That is the end of the Total Combat mini quest. We got a few lamps and a cosmetic override, but 10,000 construction XP, 1,000 farming, and 1,000 magic. No levels, but to actually do our task, we need to head to the Abyss quick. Luckily, I've already done the Enter the Abyss mini quest for the Wanted quest back when I had that task. So all we have to do is run there quick, and it doesn't take long. Just a quick teleport to Edgeville and a quick little surge and a run over to the Major Zamarok. Ask him to teleport us into the Abyss, and we'll mine our way into the center, and we can already see him over there. There's Edward the turtle, and we just need to talk to him for the actual end of our task. And there we are. Our achievement is complete, and he just chills here. But we can head on over to the task site. We didn't have to time gate this, we already had it, so we can complete this and just complete it straight up and get a new task. Next one is another quest. Time to do Temple of Ikov to get the Armadillo Pendant. Let me check quick to see if that has any requirements that I have not already done. Temple of Ikov just needs 40 ranged and 42 thieving. Nope, I'm good to go. So I'm gonna gear up and get this quest done. I already have the pendant of Armadillo, the Armadillo pendant in my inventory. I'm wearing it. The task says completion of the quest is required. That's technically not true. I don't have to come over here and complete it, but there we go. This dialogue box usually takes a hot second to actually disappear, but this is the end of the quest once it actually processes. If it's going to. But this quest is complete. We get 10,000 ranging XP for it, which is nice, and 8,000 fletching, also pretty nice. And then the Boots of Lightness are a good upgrade, and the Armadillo Pendant is potentially useful for the God War dungeon. Okay, so just clicking on the screen got rid of the dialog box. There we go. Completed Temple of Ikov for Armadillo. Completed 10.5k ranged XP, 8k fletching, Boots of Lightness, and we have access to the temple, but we're basically never going to go back there. But we did get a range level from that, so that is nice. 51 ranged, and half a fletching level as well. But that is the end of the task. It was quite quick, easy to do. We can complete it, move on. We're almost at 35% easy. This next one will be pretty quick. I'm already at level 2 reputation with the Merchant District, so I just need to get one more. Super easy, just join the Soul Hobby chat and find some obelisks. I haven't done any recently. All of those were done quite a while ago for the other districts, so all I need to do is hop around a bit, find an obelisk or two, and we should be good. So I'll come back once we've gotten our reputation up. Spotted a cat Blanchy, which is one that I have not gotten yet, so that is a passive that I can go check off. I did also happen to just get a Slayer level from doing some scarabs that are around. We are allowed to do scarabs for reputation specifically, so I found this world before I found any obelisks, so I'm doing this to get like the majority of the diminishing returns from the scarabs out of the way, and also to work on another passive that involves scarabs. I believe you need to squash 200 of them total, and I know I'm over 100, but I can head on over to the task site quick and we can mark Blanchy off. There we go. And get back to our main task of getting some reputation. 3 merchant districts, so we've gotten to tier 3 of all 4 districts. I believe that's the final one of this tier. I don't think we move on to level 5 reputation until the medium tier, if I remember correctly. But that is our task complete, so let's go mark it off. Except, ooh, just barely under 35%. This next one, yet another quest. This one should be relatively quick. It's just to do the fight arena quest. Usually done early on in an account, but I have 75 melee stats, so it should be a breeze. Fight arena quest, 12k attack XP, 2k thieving XP, no levels, not surprising. I'm level 75 attack, I'm over 100,000 XP away from the next level, but it's a decent little chunk of XP. But the quest was super quick, super easy. We can head on over to good old task site and mark it off, and that should push us over 35% of the way through the easy tier. Our next task, it'll be an easy one, not very quick because running around Anachronia takes 5.5 years, and that is the entirety of this task, is to just run around Anachronia and observe all 5 Dragonkin statues. Nothing scary or dangerous about it, but we gotta do it, so let's go. That was the final Dragonkin statue. We have observed all 5 of them across the island of Anachronia. Like I said, took a few minutes to run around everywhere, especially since I don't have a high enough agility to really utilize the agility course to get around very well. But that is the task completed. We're just kind of breezing through these, really. Run one right after the other right now. Let's get another task and see if it'll keep going. We just mine in Menaphos and get a gem or an insect, so I'm gonna make my way back to Menaphos, and the only thing that I can mine, I believe, is sandstone. So time to mine some sandstone and see how long it'll take to get one of the 4. Since there are 4 options, it's likely, I don't think it'll take that long to do, and I already have access to the deposit box, so it really shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. But time to get mining. We just got the Menaphite honeybee in amber, so we can check this off, and then if I head to the bank quick, I can actually check how much sandstone I have, because I have been banking it all with the deposit box. So let me just check real quick. I don't think I had any in my bank, so that's 106, 152, 195 on the dot, I believe, if I did that quick math correctly. So we can head on over to the task site, 195 quote-unquote KC, and that was the Menaphite honeybee in amber, and we can complete this task and move on to the next one. Open a large rune casket from Ali Morsane. We've already done the feud, so I just need to do the Ali the Trader achievement. So this is talking to like Aubrey, I believe, about telling him the runes, but and then I have to do the puzzles quick, but thankfully I believe Alt 1 can help me with those. So time to do this quick task, relatively quick. It took me a minute to get the Rundoku solver for Alt 1 to work. What I found, it didn't seem to be recognizing the puzzles, so I turned off textures and anisotropic filtering in the graphics for a minute, and then it seemed to recognize the large puzzle. The small puzzle I just had to do by myself, but it's not that difficult with just the few runes that are available. But in the chat box you can see all of the achievements we just got. The on a rune high is the one that we needed to do, which was unlock the highest rune shop, and we can head on over to ye old task site and complete the task. Like it says, you do need to do both a small and a large rune casket to get that achievement and to complete the task. But there we are, 36% of the way through the easy tier, and our new task is to do the medium underworld area tasks. So this should be pretty good to do, actually. Upgrading the tome, the underworld grimoire, is nice, and it's always nice to do some necromancy adjacent things. This should be a very quick task, was to have a ghost or a zombie active while we fight either a ghost or a zombie. So I ran here to tab really quick, got that done. I'm already halfway done with the achievements. The only thing that we're gonna have to level for, and it's not really even level 4, is I just need to do the Achilles Knowledge 3 and upgrade a piece of Death Skull or Death Warden to tier 50. Unfortunately, I don't get to upgrade the whole thing because that's a task, obviously, but we'll have a tier 50 weapon. I'm gonna upgrade the Death Guard most likely. But the next 3 are relatively easy. I need to use Reflect while I have Lesser Bone Shield active, so I cast Lesser Bone Shield. I just need to get the adrenaline for that. I need to make a Necromancy Potion in and then I need to make a bloated enemy apply to at least 2 targets. So I'm going to head to the Lumbridge Catacombs for that because they're all closely packed together. So that should be an easy way to do that. And then after this, I'll do the Reflect one here too, and then I'm gonna go grab the items needed for the Necromancy Potion. That right there was the make an enemy apply bloat to 2 others, and then I should just be able to use Reflect quick. And there we go, that's Bonafide Shield, so that's that done. The only 2 things we have left are the Necromancy Potion and then upgrade a piece of Death Skull. I quickly grab the Kadava berries, and I already have the Marintil and vials of water, so just quickly mix this Necromancy Potion in the bank, and there we go. Now we're just 1 achievement away. First though, I need to do the new Killy task, so I am going to go speak to her. I might as well just teleport there. I've got 10 teleports a day, so I might as well use one. And we'll get working on this. Just finished Killy's task. I am now able to upgrade a piece to tier 50. I'm going with the Death Guard. I think it makes the most sense. And there we go. That is an achievement complete, and we can go talk to Frank in the plaza to get our rewards, the upgraded book and an XP lamp. So let's go do that. I do think, like I said, I do think the tier 50 Death Guard is probably the best thing to make first, but it's really not gonna make that big of a difference, I don't think. So yeah, where he's in there. Hello, Frank. Can I claim rewards? There we go, we got a lamp. We're going to throw this in Herblore, of course, another 10k XP, that puts us up to level 55. Nice, so we can make super strengths now. And we got the Grimoire 2, just increases XP and stuff, I believe. We have 10 free teleports to ritual sites and now unlimited teleports to the smithy, which is great. But yes, that is our task completed. So let's head on over to the task site. I should also look at what this unlock is. If it wants to tell me, the rune stack has increased. I can maintain 1,500 and 100 spirit, bone, and flesh runes. But that'll be useful when I actually start using necromancy as a combat style. That's the task complete. We can get a new one. Finally, we get to go get a god staff, which is a really good thing to have for magic. The special attack of the Gothic staff is really good, and it'll be my best in slot magic cape for a while too. So I'm just gonna gear up with some mage gear, buy some food, and we'll go do this. It was very, very easy. I didn't even use any food for it, but we just got our Gothic staff and the cape, and now we just need to cast Divine Storm in the arena 100 times, I think. So that is what we are going to do. I'll come back once we've gotten the unlock. We just got the chat pop up. We can cast Divine Storm outside of the Mage Arena. If you switch to Legacy and you use a wand and orb, you cast really, really fast. It goes quite quickly. It's not necessary. It is quite quick. But I'm just gonna go. I don't actually have to run in here, but over here I can switch back to Revolution and see. There we go. And let's just teleport to a bank quick. But that is the end of the task. We've got our Gothic Staff, which has a useful special attack, which will lower the defense of the enemies and does a lot of damage. And we can cast Divine Storm outside of the wilderness in that area now. But I don't think it's actually useful. Airwave does more damage and costs less air runes, and I can already cast it. So it's a shame that it's a useless spell, but the staff itself and the cape that we got are good pieces of equipment. But we can mark this off and get ourselves a new task. Our new one is back to Gnome Restaurant. We still have not gotten a Captain Ninto delivery, so we have not done fishing contest yet. In terms of chef pieces, we can get 2 more, which are the toque and the add-on, and then we don't have the goggles or the scarf or the Grand Seed Pod yet. So likely we're going to get the Grand Seed Pod or the last piece of the chef's outfit, but we will see. But yeah, this will probably be quick. The chef's outfit and the Grand Seed Pods aren't that bad to get from the deliveries, so I'm just gonna make my way over there. And we already have an okay amount of gnome food made, but we'll see if they ask for anything I don't have prepared. I did 1 delivery, but our second delivery here is a Captain Ninto one, so I can quickly do fishing contest in order to unlock him. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the quest within the 10 minutes that I need to deliver this item for him, however, but we will see. If that's the end of the fishing contest quest. We got 2.5k fishing XP basically, and I might as well bring him with me as I deliver this to Captain Ninto. He has the opportunity to give us the goggles or the scarf. Only he and Captain Darekin are the 2 that can do that. But we got the sous chef toque actually, so still unique, but not one of the rarer ones. But we can head on over to the task site. That was 2 KC for this, and that's the sous chef toque. We can complete this and get ourselves a new task. Our new one is to obtain a unique piece of jewelry from the Dungeoneering Ward Shop. The only option is the Twisted Bird Skull necklace. I'm going to have to go see how much that costs, because I'm really not sure. It is possible I have the tokens, because I believe I got some from doing the medium task set, but otherwise I might need to do some. Twisted Bird Skull necklace is 8.5k. I have 5.7k, so I'm going to go try and kill 1 Cerberus in the Zamorak Elite Dungeon. There's a way, I'll show you how to surge past the witches and get on over to him. If I remember correctly, he's weak to water spells. I'm actually just going to bring every type of rune so I don't waste a trip. I'll use my handy dandy new Gothic staff. The kill's gonna take a hot second because I don't have much in terms of like gear. I'm 69 mage and I'm using a tier 60 staff, so it's not gonna be great, but yeah. going to do Cerberus for tokens. You want to enter the Zamorakian city normally. Now, I don't remember exactly how to line myself up for this, but it's something like this. And what you need to do is surge in this direction and click on the map at the same time, so you run just like that, and then those witches won't see you. This one, however, always patrols this path, so it is going to run into you, so you'll have to kill this one so you won't get just destroyed by it while you kill Cerberus Juvenile up here. Earth spells is what he's weak to, but he's got 120 HP, 120,000 HP. You can just sit right here at the door. Don't go into the room. He will shred you if you do, but you can basically just safe spot him from outside the door, and it'll take a bit, especially with low tier gear like this, but it's 5,000 dungeoneering tokens per kill, so it's a pretty good way to farm tokens. But yeah, just like how I did, you need to, it might take you a couple attempts to get that surge down, but it's pretty easy once you figure it out. But yeah, you want to stand outside the door and he just comes right up to you. You don't want to accidentally go inside, but like you can see, I have a 36% hit rate right now, and if I switch over to Earth Blast, that'll boost it up to 50, and I should grab my special attack actually now because the Gothic Staff has one, so I can throw you over here on this bar, and it uses what, 25% adrenaline, but it does a pretty high attack and it can lower Cerberus's or any enemy's defense. So yeah, now I'm just gonna sit here while I wait forever to do enough damage to this guy, because he takes less damage the further we are away. So the way you're supposed to fight him is by being up front, but he does so much damage in melee, you really want to be sure you don't accidentally go in there, especially as a hardcore. He will shred you. But yeah, we're just gonna sit here until we do enough damage to kill him. It's gonna take a few minutes probably. Here we are, just about to kill Cerberus Juvenile. There we go, we got 5,000 dungeoneering tokens, all the way up to 10, almost 11k. I can use the Ring of Kinship that is no longer in my inventory because I must have banked it, to teleport back to Daemonheim, and we can go grab that Twisted Bird Skull necklace. I likely don't think I'm going to be using it anywhere, but it's an interesting item. I'll talk about it. It restores some prayer points when you bury bones or absorb ashes with the attuned ectoplasmator. So you can wear it when combine it with a bone crusher and potentially upkeep your prayer in certain areas. So it does have potential use. But that's what it does. But there we are. We have it in our inventory. So we can head on over to the task site, mark off the Twisted Bird Skull necklace, complete this task, and move on to our next one. Our next one is to do the Animal Magnetism quest. Luckily, I got the 50 range requirement for the Gower quest lamps a few tasks ago. So now I just need to do the Animal Magnetism quest, and we can get this. I have all of the requirements done already, so it's just doing Animal Magnetism, so it won't take too long. Of the Animal Magnetism quest, I have the Ava's Accumulator. She gives it to us because our range was 50 or above upon completing the quest, and that also pushed us over 175 quest points. So I can head to May quick, and while I teleport, we will head on over to the task site and mark off this task. We obtained Ava's Accumulator upon the completion of the Animal Magnetism quest, and we can get ourselves a new task. This new task, finally the Defender Grind, those are our only options left in Asgarnia and Misthalin, so I'm gonna have to farm some tokens quick and then head on in to kill some Cyclops. This is actually, I'm pretty glad I'm starting to get these. I would like to get these done so I can get the Dragon Defender, so I can start to get corrupted sigils from Barrows. But we are here at May, so let's open her shop. Let's go to our rewards, claim our quest die, tier 2, so still nothing great that we can get, but... Oh, I moved, so rolling the dice didn't work. There we go, 500k and an adamant plate body H3. Fortunate component for the future, but I'm going to go gear up and we can head to the Warriors Guild for the very first time. I just wanted to show you I got 2,000 tokens quick. It's really quick. I was doing rune armor, I kill them in about 2 hits usually. The longest amount of time is the time that it takes to reanimate it. The cutscene, the little scene that happens, is a bit long, but we also kill Cyclops super duper fast, so likely we're probably not going to use anywhere near this amount of tokens for all of the defenders, but we will see how long it takes us to get the bronze one. We are the bronze defender. I actually, believe it or not, went dry on this. I think almost 2 times the rate. They're 1 in 50, the wiki says, and I killed Cyclops 58 plus 44, so 102. So yeah, just a little over double the drop rate. Hopefully they don't all continue to be like that, but still, it wasn't even that bad. It went pretty quick. We used 160 tokens. But that is the bronze defender acquired, and we can get a new task. Back to Menaphos specifically for a fire making or wood cutting bug. So just back to our usual, cut down some Acadias and light them on fire right there. I was just scrolling through passives on the task site while I'm working on my task, burning logs, cutting trees for the bugs in Menaphos, and I realized I did not mark off unlocking War's Retreat teleport for 10 boss kills, which we totally have, so that's another passive done quickly. So there we go, just a quick one to mark off quick. Also, speaking of, I just got the Menaphite honeybee, so there we go, we can check that off and we can head on over to the task site. I literally just filmed that clip where I mark off the War's Retreat teleport, so that's pretty funny. So we can head on over here, mark off the honeybee. This is the one I preferred to get, so that in the future, when I come back here for the Calphite Wanderer, the woodcutting one, I'm just able to bank all of the Acadia logs, so that's nice. Once again, didn't keep track of the logs. It was a few inventories worth, honestly faster than I thought it was going to be, but that's our task completed. And we can move on to the next one. We're closing in on 40%. Back to the Wilderness Slayer section, so back to Hellhounds. I might try Necro now with the tier 40 gear to see if I can handle it. I also have that tier 50 Death Guard, so maybe it'll do fine. I'm gonna do one trip with that and see how it goes. We got the Fremnik equipment patch and the Revenant drop enhancer, so the 3 left from Hellhounds are the Ancient Warriors equipment patch, the Wilderness Hilt, and the Adrenaline Crystal. Necro for Hellhounds, not doing too bad so far. I think my trips are actually going to be longer, but I think my kills are slower. I don't have like Command Ghost or Command Zombie yet, so my bar isn't the best that it could be, and obviously my gear is still only tier 40 armor, and then a tier 40 weapon and a tier 50 weapon, so I would love to be able to upgrade it again. However, in my inventory, you might be able to see I did get a second Fremnik equipment patch. These are still going to be very nice. Since I have 2, I'm considering just doing my rock shell, the main body pieces, but also I'm not entirely sure. Because magic is what I'm likely going to end up using for God War's dungeon, unless I do Necro. I'd have to compare and see. But for this task, I do think I'm going to continue going with Necromancy. I need to start getting XP anyway for a bunch of talent tasks in the future. I need at least 50,000 XP for this next one, as you can see. And well, actually, I don't know how many talent points I currently have, but I think I'm gonna need some additional ones, because I haven't gotten a single talent point task in this tier yet, and there's like 6 or 7 of them, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm gonna keep chilling here at Hellhounds and hopefully still using necromancy and leveling it up. Whoa, we just got incredibly lucky. I just got the Ancient Warriors equipment patch, which is the rarest one to get from the Wilderness drop table. I've only been here for a few trips. I got 1 talent point and I'm partway through the next, as you can see, 20,000 out of 72,000. Overall, my Hellhound kills, I'm quite lucky here, I believe. 521 total Hellhound kills. So let's head to the task site and take a gander at what we've gotten so far. I have gotten 2 Fremnik equipment patches, 1 Ancient Warrior equipment patch, and the Revenant drop enhancer from 521 Hellhounds. That is quite lucky. The only 2 things I have left on the Wilderness shared drop table that I need to get are the Wilderness Hilt and the Adrenaline Crystal. The Adrenaline Crystal is like a 1 in 1k, the Wilderness Hilt's like a 1 in 2k. It's the same as the Revenant drop enhancer, but this is like a 1 in 4,700 from Hellhounds or something, supposedly on the table. So I'm really glad to get this, actually. I don't have anything to use it on, but I don't really care about that part. But that's the task complete, and we can get a new one. We're back to Fort Ferinthree. We need 240 teak planks to build the 2nd tier of the workshop. I don't think I have much in terms of teak. I know I have some. I've got 195 logs plus 24 planks, so just like 1 inventory worth is all I need to do, actually. So not too bad, not too bad. I'm gonna go grab what I need and we'll build this building. We get a construction level up to level 58. We did get another one earlier as we were building, and that is the tier 2 workshop of Fort Ferinthree completed. Pretty quick task, so nothing to complain about really. Construction levels are nice, we're getting higher. Eventually we'll be able to build some stuff in our house to store clue items and stuff, but that's the end of this task. And let's get ourselves a new one. This new one is medium Varrock area task. There is a time gate of some kind, but I probably should have prepared it ahead of time, I think. Let's go check and see what these are. Varrock medium. So I do have some quests to do, it looks like. I need to do fairy tale quests to get fairy rings. I need to do Enlightened Journey, A Soul's Bane, Rat Catchers, and What Lies Below. So quite a few quests, but otherwise I've got levels and stuff for everything, I believe. Not looking forward to Rat Catchers, but all of the other quests aren't gonna take too long, but I think I have quite a few to do for Fairy Tale. I need to do like Lost City and yeah, Lost City. Oh, I do need to get 2 Herblore levels because I need to do Fairy Tale Part 2, so I need 57 Herblore. So let's go do Herby Werby quick, actually. Herby Werby game is done, and I have enough points now to buy the herb bag that I talked about earlier, so I'm going to purchase that, and that is a passive complete. The XP from that honestly wasn't that great. It didn't get us a level, but the points are useful generally, so the herb bag will be useful for Slayer and other grinds in the future. And here we are, we can mark it off if it wants to work. Okay, my internet's struggling, but just know, oh, there we go. I have marked off obtaining the herb bag. Lost City quest is about to be completed. I have the Drummond staff. I grabbed a few extra branches, threw them in my bank. I just need to run into the shed down here, and we'll teleport to Xanaris, and that'll be the end of the quest. This gives us access to Xanaris, which has Dragon Longswords, Dragon Daggers, Cosmic Altar, and Sheldar the Slayer Master. I don't think Sheldar is actually useful for me anymore, because I know for a fact I'll unlock Simona later, but yeah, I can use Kuradel at Shiloh Village, and then Raptor eventually once I do Unwelcome Guest. So Sheldar's not really useful, but good to have. Gonna continue questing now, though. One complete. In order to do Fairy Tale 2, which I do need to do for Fairy Ring access, I still need 57 Herblore. Unlike Old School, we cannot start the quest without it, so I am forced to get that level. However, I think I am going to do the other quests that I need to do first, which is A Soul's Bane, Enlightened Journey, Rat Catchers, and What Lies Below. That is the end of A Soul's Bane. Not much to talk about here. It's you really don't get anything in terms of rewards. Next up, I think, is probably What Lies Below. Is the next one I'm gonna do, and then I need to do Enlightened Journey and Rat Catchers. That is the end of the What Lies Below quest. We got a couple lamps, 8k runecrafting XP, no level, and 2k defense XP, no level, but XP is always nice. We have Fairy Tale Part 2 that needs to be done still, Enlightened Journey, and Rat Catchers. So I'm probably going to do Enlightened Journey next, I suppose. Okay, break in the middle of preparing for Enlightened Journey to pet Hetefreeze real quick in Menaphos. Somebody called it out in the chat, so I came here to grab it quick. But back to preparing for Enlightened Journey, but I will quickly come on over to the task site and mark off the cat passive. And there we go, only 21 more needed for the medium tier. And that is the end of the Enlightened Journey quest. We got 60 fire making from that. That's the only level we got. We did get a few other things of XP, I believe, but that is that quest completed. We have 2 left, I believe. Fairy Tale Part 2 still, and everybody's favorite quest, Rat Catchers. So I think I'm gonna get Rat Catchers over with, I suppose. We should be coming up on the end of Rat Catchers. I actually didn't get caught in the house at all, but still, that is a long quest that's a bit tedious. 2 quest points, 4,500 thieving XP, the rat pole, and the ability to train overgrown cats into wily cats. And that's the end of the quest. So we only have 1 more to do, which is Fairy Tale Part 2. I still need to get 2 Herblore levels, though, which is about 27,000 XP. I have not yet looked in the bank and tried to figure out what I have available, but I imagine I have enough herbs to do so. I just need to figure out what potions I'm going to make. I did have enough herbs and things in my bank to get up to 57 Herblore, pretty much just barely. But I've started Fairy Tale Part 2, but there is a section where we have to wait 5 minutes, so I'm gonna try and knock out some Varrock achievements in the meantime. So here's the apothecary making us a strength potion. I had to go grab a Chaos Talisman quick, but there we go. We entered the Chaos Altar through the shortcut, and I think enough time has passed for me to go continue the quest. So I'm going to do that first and then get back to the achievements. And here is going to be the end of Fairy Tale Part 2. 3,500 Herblore XP, 2,500 thieving, and an XP lamp of 2,500 we can put on anything. And most importantly, access to fairy rings. They're really not anywhere near as useful in RS3 as they are in Old School. So it's not that big of an upgrade, in my opinion, really. Home teleports and Viswax make them kind of obsolete for a lot of places. I'm going to throw the lamp on Herblore, but now we should have all of the requirements for all of the achievements for the medium Varrock diaries left, so I'm just going to go get to work and get them done. I didn't wield the rat pole during the quest, during the rat catcher's quest, so I had to come here and hunt a few extra rats, but that is that achievement completed. Next up, I'm gonna run through all the sewers to go grab some red spider's eggs quick. Spider's eggs, right? Maybe I'm looking incorrectly. Escape from the spider lair with some. So do I just need to leave with them? I've got red spider's eggs, so I will. Oh yeah, you just start walking away. Sure, there we go. That's that achievement complete. This next one's really easy. I just need to use all of the stronghold for security emotes. So I need to use idea, stomp, flap, and head slap, and there we go. That's another one right there. Here we are, choosing our own colored kitten here should get us another achievement. There we go. I stored my actual cat in the house, so I don't need to do anything with it. In this one, we can just get rid of. But that's another achievement done, and we can go do some more. Rubbing this and teleporting to the dig site should be another achievement. There we go. So it should be a relatively easy thing to do. We just need to come to the earth altar, use this tiara on the altar. Boom, we have an earth tiara. That's another achievement done. We're going to do 3 in quick succession. We're going to teleport to Varrock, which is an achievement. We're going to run up into the castle courtyard, and we're going to pickpocket a guard, which should be another achievement. And then we're going to run over to this white tree, and we're going to pick that fruit and eat it. There's pickpocketing the guard in Varrock's courtyard. And now we're just going to come over here, run through the castle, over to the garden, from Garden of Tranquility, pick the fruit from the white tree, and eat it. Here we are. Oh, we didn't even need to eat it. We just needed to pick it. That's 3 more quick achievements. We've only got 3 more left. Fairy ring code is DKR to teleport to the one near Varrock for this achievement. And there we go. We have 2 more to do. We need to unlock another traveling option via the hot air balloon. We need to travel to Varrock specifically. And then we need a cat training medal from Gertrude. So I made a mistake when I put my cat into the menagerie in my house and picked up the new kitten. I should have gotten the cat medal first, because I'm positive that during my time of getting stews, I caught 100 rats, and I had to just redo the entire thing to actually get this medal now, because when you put your cat in the house and get a new kitten, you have to start over from 0. So don't make that mistake. But we got our cat training medal, and we only have 1 more thing to do, which is hot air balloon from Varrock. So we have to unlock the Varrock path and then go back to Entrana from here. Entrana should finish this last achievement, and then all we have to do is go collect our reward. There we go. Now I need to head over to Reldo and collect the Varrock medium rewards. Here and talk to Reldo, we should be able to claim our rewards, the upgraded armor and the lamp. And there we are. That is our task complete. 5,000 Herblore XP. And we have Varrock Armor 2, which is somewhat better. But we can head on over to the task site. We completed this. We don't need to time gate it. It took quite a while to do all of those quests and everything that I needed to do, but we got them done. We got the achievements done, and we got the task done, so we can complete it and move on. 39.16%, and our new task is back to shifting tombs for Corundum. Hey, we just got the Corundum. I think we got fairly lucky. I wasn't keeping track of how long, like how many individual clusters I've done, but that is the task complete. It definitely went a lot faster than the last time I had to get it, which I'm grateful for. This can take a while. That's that task complete, pushing us even closer towards 40%. And our new task is some Mauritania Slayer. We can get Black Boots, Dark Mystic Row Bottom. We don't have the Slayer level for that. Dark Mystic Boots, Lava Battle Staff, and then Granite Helm I can't get because I haven't done Tarn's Lair, I believe, to get access to Terror Dogs. So I think I'm just going to go do Bloodvelds quick for the Black Boots, because that'll be super quick and easy to get. Black Boots from Bloodvelds, so I'm going to teleport out quick. We can actually check in-game for Bloodvelds how many we killed. A total of 99 for a 1 in 128 drop. So not super lucky, but not bad. We can come on over to the task site, mark this off, and complete this task. Get ourselves a new one. The new one is to do Cabin Fever. I think I have a couple quests to do then. Cabin Fever, I need to do Rum Deal and Pirate's Treasure. So I will do those quick and then Cabin Fever. As soon as we talk to Captain Braindeath here, this should be the end of the Rum Deal quest. The other one that we have to do before Cabin Fever is Pirate's Treasure, but that's a fairly quick free-to-play quest, so it shouldn't take us very long. 7,000 XP in prayer farming and something else I don't remember. Got us a prayer level and a farming level up to 53 and 59 respectively. Fishing was the other thing, 7k fishing. But I am going to do Pirate's Treasure, and then we'll do Cabin Fever. Right over here in Falador Park, we dig on this X and kill a gardener, and that'll be the end of the quest. Or I have to read the message first and then dig, and then kill the gardener. And then dig again. And there's the end of the quest. The only thing we have left to do now is to actually go do Cabin Fever. We just wrapped up the Cabin Fever quest, so we'll be able to get black masks in the future. 7k smithing XP, 7k crafting, 7k agility, a couple of quest points, and if I come over here and talk to Bill Teach again, he will give me the 10,000 gold, and that is the actual task completed. There are lamps that I have to use. We did get a smithing level up to level 51 smithing, which is nice. But that was our task, was to collect that 10,000 gold that we just did from Bill. So we can come over to the task site and mark this off. We're at 40% now through the easy tier, and we can generate a new one. Our new task is another quest, Vessel of the Harbinger. I believe as soon as I talk to Death over here, that will be the Vessel of the Harbinger completed. But that is not our task, we just had to do this to do our task. 10k necromancy XP, 5k prayer XP, and a small amount of souls. But this allows us to head up to the rooftop over here and do our actual task, the Happy Death Day achievement, by helping out the party goers that are up there. The Death Day cake has been created. All we have to do is head up to the rooftop and hand it over, and that will be the end of this task. We've just been getting quest after quest after quest, pretty much, but we'll see what happens next. And there we go, that is that achievement completed. We can head on over to the task site, complete this task, and see what our next one is. Do a shifting tomb, but without using any movement abilities, so this will only take maximum of 5 minutes. I just need to make sure I don't hit my surge key, so I'm going to keep my hand off my keyboard actually, so I don't accidentally touch it. I have not touched the surge button. All of our objectives are complete. I just need to get over here to this rope within the next 20 seconds, and I'm right by it. And that should be the end of the task. There we go. It's not called Surging Tombs. Complete all objectives solo without using escape. And that was our first shifting tomb done. But we can head on over to the good old task site and we can mark this task complete. A nice quick 5-minute task. And we can get ourselves a new one. Back to Mauritania's Slayer. I believe the boots and the lava battle staff are from Infernal Mages, and I'm going to kill those with ranged actually. So I'm going to gear up and make my way there. We just got the unexpected drop, the one that I didn't particularly want, the lava battle staff. We accidentally killed one additional mage due to auto retaliate, but that's fine. The lava battle staff I don't really care for because I'm going to have to kill aberrant specters anyway in the future, and they drop it as a much higher rate. And I'm going to have to come back to Infernal Mages to kill them for their Mystic piece, because they're the only one that drops, I think it's the gloves or the boots. The boots is what I don't have. So I'm going to have to come back for that. Which is, you know, yeah. But that is our task completed. We got the lava battle staff, so we can mark this off. We did 202 kills. I was using contracts, so that's what kept track. I'm allowed to use contracts because I can train to any Slayer level in this dropdown, so that's why I'm able to use contracts even though they give Slayer XP. But I have to destroy this one now, but it was actually it was 170 plus 47. So that would be 217, not 202. I think. Yeah, I might be off on the math and I don't feel like double checking, but that is our task completed. We got up to 55 ranged, nearly 56. We're 300 XP away. This next one's going to be pretty quick. We just need some steel nails and some teak planks to make all 4 baskets in Heads Oasis. So 20 teak planks and some steel nails. So I'm going to head over to Fort Fern 3 to buy the nails, and I think I already have enough teaks. Actually, I might have used them all, so I think I actually have to cut an inventory, but I'll see you guys there. I just built the 2 baskets in the other corner, and we're going to build these 2 quick. We're getting almost 3k construction XP per, which is quite a bit. It won't be enough for a level, but still a nice little boost. That is all 4 baskets built. I guess I miscounted on how many teaks I cut, but that is the end of our task. We can come over here to the task site and complete it, get ourselves a new one. This new one is to donate 25 artifacts to the Varrock Museum. So basically, I am just going to chill at the Venator remain spot, the lowest level ones, and do that for a bit. It's going to take a bit to be able to get all of the resources needed to restore them and all of the artifacts themselves. I have excavated a whole lot of Venator daggers and crossbows, like more than needed, because I'm going to need more in the future, and this was more AFK than going to the material caches for the extra materials I need. So I've got 43 crossbows and 17 more daggers in the bank, but we're going to go turn these into the museum donation bin, and that will be the end of our task. There we go. Only 2,000 chronotes for that. Not great. I think I accidentally did do one extra one, but if I head over to my achievements and I go to archaeology, this one's donator, I think. Yeah, I've got 26 to the museum. And if we go over to the task site, I need to do 25. So this is completed and we can get ourselves a new task. New task is Ziliana, so our first God Wars task. We don't actually have the 70 agility to get into Ziliana's encampment, and I am not allowed to train for it, so I just have to get the War Priest from things outside. So I'm going to gear up, I think probably with Necro. I think that makes the most sense. and I'm going to figure out what all I have for God War's protection, and I'll make my way there. We are here in God War's Dungeon 1. You can see my layout. I went and grabbed the Zamorak cape from Mage Arena as well. So I've got that. I'm wearing some Saradomin arrows that I've gotten from Clue Scrolls and the Armadillo pendant that I got from Temple of Ikov. The only item that I'm missing is bandos, but there aren't really any over in this area. So overall, I'm fine. And over here, I'm mainly going to be killing these Saradomin priests and these Knights of Saradomin for the chance to get the Saradomin War Priest pieces. And that's about it. We're just going to chill here. We just received our first piece of War Priest, the Saradomin Cape, from a Saradomin Priest at 95 KC. We do need to get 2 items though, so gonna be here for a bit longer. We did also just hit 60 Necromancy. My plan is, when Necromancy is like a viable option for me to use, I'm going to use it until I get at least 4 talent points. I currently have 1, and I'm close to getting my second. I'm only about 10k XP, but I need 4 for the entirety of the easy tier, so I would like to get all of them out of the way for the future. And on the ground is our War Priest of Saradomin boots, our second piece, 170 KC total. I did accidentally kill 1 werewolf, I accidentally clicked it, whoops, but that's fine. But yeah, 170 KC for our 2 pieces of War Priest of Saradomin set. So let's head on over to the task site. 170, I think. Might have been 171, I don't remember. And we got the War Priest cape in the War Priest boots. And we can mark this task off and get ourselves a new one. I need to do the Murder on the Border quest and then build the first tier of the Fort Forin 3 kitchen. Murder on the Border, I have everything ready to do it, so I would just need to get the willow planks and then do the quest. I'm about to finish building the kitchen. Obviously, this is right at the beginning of the quest, so I'm still going to go finish the quest afterwards. I'm allowed to do that, but there it is, completed. The task specifically was just to build the kitchen, so I'm going to mark it off now and get our new task, but I am going to complete the quest. Afterwards, we have to do Spirit of Summer to get Jenika's ring.